center field. The Nats can clinch a second division title in 3 years with a win against their rival, the Braves. It's a night we've been waiting for since the first crack of the bat down in Viera, Florida. Here we are in Atlanta. It is September. The magic number is 2, and the Nats could do it to the Braves and clinch the East tonight. And wouldn't we love to see it happen right here? Now, 2 years ago, it was a little different. It was at home. It happened during a game the Nationals were actually behind in. They would eventually lose, but they celebrated anyway. This is a whole different scenario where you can go charging into the clubhouse for that celebration. So at the All-Star break, the Nats and the Braves were in a virtual tie. Since then, no contest. Washington 14 games over. The Braves really struggling. And here are the Nats now on the verge of some more Washington baseball history. And we can't wait to see if it happens tonight. Now, FP, of course, we all have fond memories of 2012. Different times, different ball club, different ages of some of these guys, too.
Yeah, I think the difference between the 2012 team and the 2014 team is one word: experience. When you look back at the fond memories of 2012, and you talked about it, be it at home, in front of the fans, at Nats Park, and it was a wonderful evening, one of my favorite evenings in all of my years in baseball. But it was the first time you see the elation, you see the joy, you see a lot of frustration from Ryan Zimmerman and all the losing years being let out. So it was more of kids in a candy store kind of in awe of the whole experience. I saw players taking pictures, enjoying the moment, as they should. That's a lot of hard work, and it comes down to one game. But when you talk about the 2014 team, these guys are a little bit more focused. They're a little bit more hardened. These guys have a goal and a desire to go all the way this year, and I think the happy to be there mentality in 2012 is totally changed this year. You have experience, you have more talent, you have guys in the right place. Remember, Jason Worth was the leadoff hitter in 2012. Now you got one of the best leadoff hitters in baseball in DENARD Span. So one little thing left. You have to win tonight, and I feel like everybody's assuming that this is over already. You still have a game to play, and you still have a big W to put up before you start popping the champagne.
Yeah, against a pitcher, Aaron Harang, who pretty much took care of the Nats at Nationals Park last week and also has pitched well against them a couple of times this year. So the pitching matchup is Tanner Roark with 13 wins on the year, and hopefully the ball to the ninth inning for Drew Storen, who now has 6 saves. Yeah, he's got the Braves frustrated. The Nats and Atlanta straight ahead. Could be special. you by PNC Bank, for the achiever in you, by Honda, and by The Equalizer, in theaters September 26th. It's a nice night in Atlanta, partly cloudy. It'll be a little warm and muggy. Ball could be traveling tonight. There's a definite breeze in the ballpark. And FP, every save, as we well know, not easy. Some might turn out to be character builders.
Well, when you talk about Drew Storen's saves on September 8th, 7th, 8th, and 9th, they were the 1, 2, 3 variety. You know, the easy ones, so to speak, air quotes. Nothing's easy at the major league level. But last night, after Soriano couldn't get it done, Drew Storen thrown right in the fire, and I feel like there's going to be a lot of fires coming up in October baseball. So check that box for Drew. Game on the line, not a problem. And it was good for him last night to experience that and feel what it's like.
Yeah, the only reason it's not 5 innings in 5 games last night was a 1-out save after Soriano got in trouble. So all the numbers add up, and really the only one that really matters is that 5 for 5. Tanner Roark at Atlanta August 9th. He got a no decision, deserved better. He struck out 6, only gave up 1 run, 7 outstanding innings.
Well, who else would you want in a big game than the horseshoe, Tanner Roark, a winner, a guy that knows how to figure it out. Whether he's got his A stuff, B stuff, or C stuff, he's going to find a way to beat you. And I know if I had one game to win, I'd want that guy on the mound. I'd feel honored to play behind him.
So here's Tanner Roark, who made 26 starts in AAA 2 years ago, now making his 30th in the big leagues tonight. And he's 2-0 against Atlanta with a very sparkling 2.10 ERA in 6 starts. His batter he made tonight is on some kind of RBI streak. Wilson Ramos has hit a couple of home runs, one Sunday in New York, one Monday in Atlanta. He's driven in at least a run 5 games in a row, hitting a very heavy 272. Here we go. In the house, and if things work out well, there may be a whole lot more working their way down toward the third base dugout here at Turner Field. Visit trainsearch.com. Find your local train comfort specialist dealer. It's hard to stop a train, really hard. So it's 82, wind blowing in from the left field corner, kind of a left to right thing going, and not as muggy as it has been the last couple of days here in Atlanta. Early possible clinch night game notes for you. When the Nats score 4 or more, you might as well pack it in and head home if you're the other team. 70-9. Now the Braves since September 1st, 2.5 runs a game and hitting only .207. Even the Padres have done better than that since September 1st, and that's the one team under Atlanta in runs for the season. So if pitching can get it done, the Braves a good matchup for the Nats tonight. The season series still Atlanta 10-7, but getting a whole lot closer. And the Nats have now started to solve Atlanta, winning 6 of the last 9. Well, we're waiting for the Braves to take the field, and reluctantly they do so. Led by Aaron Harang, who's been solid against the Nats this year. Nationals are 8th in the league in batting average, 2nd in runs, top 3 in home runs. And Bryce Harper, a little bit of ownage on Harang. 6 hits with a double, a triple, and a base on balls. Adam LaRoche has hit 5 home runs career against the right-hander. And so it's pretty much the usual 8 that Matt Williams runs out there on a regular basis. And here comes Harang. He won't overpower you, FP, but this guy knows how to pitch.
Yeah, fastball 90, slider 82, cutter at 88, curveball change. A little deception in his delivery, so that 90 plays a little bit harder. And you remember his last start in the 10th at DC. He had a really good game, 6-2 win, 1 run on 6 hits over 7, and he struck out 9. Nats walked nobody through 94 pitches, 65 of those for strikes. But if you remember, it was a 4 o'clock start. Taking nothing away from his performance, well, I guess I am. There were some shadows, and the hitters had trouble picking up the baseball. I feel like his confidence built because of the shadows as the game went on. He had probably his best outing of the year. Set the defense for the Braves. Upton, Hayward, your outfield. Simmons, Johnson, left side. GOSSELIN, Freeman, right side. And Christian Bethancourt behind the plate. Well, here we go. Buckle up, put your helmets on. Let's do this.
Stop Freddie Freeman, you have a good chance of stopping the Braves. It was a big play, as it turned out. When he was ejected last night, he did not bat in the 9th inning. So 31-year veteran, the crew chief, Tim Welke, has the plate. Tom Hallion, Ed Hickox, Tim Timmons, a really good, experienced crew all around the infield for this. Aaron Harang, 31st start, 3-4 career against Washington with a 3.10 ERA in 12 starts. And DENARD Span, 3 for 9 against him, strike 1, and we are underway at 7:12. RBI double in 4 trips for Span, also hit by a pitch last night. And he goes left field for a base hit to start things off.
Well, nice piece hitting right there. Vintage DENARD Span. Watch him just go with this Harang fastball the other way. Letting the ball travel. Perfect swing. Chris Johnson in on the grass. Nobody has a chance for that one, and there goes the no-hitter. Keys for tonight's game is stick with the process. What do you need to do to win a baseball game? Stay in the moment. You can't get caught thinking about the results. What happens if we win tonight? Just do what you've been doing. Play good, clean baseball, and the rest will take care of itself.
Anthony Rendon takes one away. Still hunting his first career hit against Aaron Harang, 0 for 7 with a base on balls. And Rendon thinking about taking the ball the other way. Boy, the hitting conditions are perfect right now. No sunshine to speak of. Great batter's eye here as you look out to center field. It's very wide. It's very high here in Atlanta. And the Nats should be seeing Aaron Harang well. And Rendon gets under that one out to short center. B.J. Upton. Anthony Rendon 0 for 5 in this series. That'll bring in Worth.
We talked about it before with Aaron Harang. There's something about his delivery and his height and his arm angle and the way he gets the ball out of his glove so quick. Even when he was an Oakland Athletic early in his career, he would throw 90 past guys. And you look at the gun up on the scoreboard and say, wow, it looks like he's throwing 95. And still at this stage in his career, he's sneaky fast.
Jayson Werth, not a lot of career success against him. 3 for 25 with a home run, a double, couple of walks. On base 2 more times last night was Werth. And that on-base percentage of .383 is number 5 in the National League. Harang also one of those guys, once a guy gets on base, the game proceeds on his terms. Never in a hurry. A lot of time between pitches. He'll check the runner frequently. Young catcher Bethancourt setting up away. He missed up and in and got a strike with it. 0-2.
Well, to your point, Carp, Harang's a guy that's going to vary his tempo to the plate more so than his delivery. You know, sometimes he'll come set for a click go. Sometimes he'll hold. He's trying to disrupt DENARD's rhythm at first more than, you know, really speeding up his delivery to home.
Yeah, Span really not much of a lead here. He's holding, and Worth thought it was close enough. Well, the Braves have lost 4 straight, and they are a .500 ball club on the 16th of September after starting the season 17-7. Fighting for their wild card hopes. And the 0-2 again. Well outside and smothered by Bethancourt. And Worth right side. This will drift out of play.
But you saw the long pause by Harang right there. He's trying to get DENARD Span to get jumpy at first base, and right when he throws his rhythm off, go to the plate. And sometimes as a base runner, and we've talked about it before, you can get into the tempo with the pitcher. 1001, 1002, he goes home. 1001, he goes home. He gets into rhythms. Harang doesn't. Right when he comes set, you start counting. But look how long he's holding right there, and DENARD has no idea when he's about to go home. Doesn't make for the best television, but it's effective. Keeping it rather close.
Well, all of you having watch parties and in big groups tonight, just relax, enjoy. This may take a while.
Yeah, we're another cold one. There's people all over D.C. in bars watching this right now. You kidding me?
We'll be here all night, whatever it takes. Hey, this is game number 150. There's no rush to get it done in the first half hour. There's Span 31 out of 38 this year. 4th most steals in the National League. The Nats are sitting on 95 stolen bases as a team. Way outside, and Harang working so slowly, you just wonder about him getting into any kind of rhythm here. One pitch up, everything else away. He was ahead 0-2.
Well, that's what Matt Williams' club does. And anybody that plays them in the first round has to realize that every single batter is going to grind at bats out. This is what they become. This is their personality. Direct reflection of their manager. A team that comes to play every single day, going to play hard and going to fight you. And not just occasionally, not just in the late innings, but I'm talking about every at-bat all season long. They're going to fight you. Exactly what Worth is doing right here.
Outside, 3-2. Well, is Matt Williams confident enough in contact to turn Span loose? I mean, we're not talking about a guy who's going to throw a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. Even if Worth would strike out, there's a good chance Span would swipe second. So a full count with 1 out. He's running. It's outside. 2 on, 1 out. Good at bat by Jason Worth, battling back from an 0-2 count.
Yeah, 0-2 walk is solid. And hitters will tell you when they're behind the count 0-2 and you work a walk, it's almost as good as getting a base hit. But runners at first and second, 1 out, and that's in business here the first.
When the Nats and the Braves got together, August 9th, leading off the 6th inning, Adam LaRoche And that's to one of the deepest parts of this ballpark.
You see the location of the fastball from Harang. It was belt high. I don't think he threw one pitch last start in D.C. belt high. Everything was knees or below.
That's the only run he gave up to the Nats that night, who scored 3 in the 11th to win it 4-1. And of course, Pete, that was the night after the 7-6 game when the Nats were down 7. Battled back, gave the Braves something to think about, and they won 11 of their next 12, starting with that 4-1 win.
11 of their next 12, 13 of their next 15, and 24 and 11 since.
0-1 to LaRoche, who strokes it to left, and right there is Justin Upton. With 2 outs, it'll be up to Ian Desmond.
Last time the Nats were in Atlanta, they had a 3.5 game lead. A month later, it's 11.5, and they're trying to clinch.
It's a pretty good month. Ian Desmond, 308 over his last 10 games. During that time, scoring 8 runs, driving in 5. Harang's been tough on him, 2 for 16 career. And that breaking ball just bounced foul down the third base side.
Ian went 0 for 4 last night, but he made a play that, in my mind, with my clock going, I thought he had no chance of making, with B.J. Upton in the 9th inning. Upton hit him a one-hop bullet, tough to glove, barehanded it, didn't put it back in his glove, and threw a seed to first base to get Upton. So you go 0 for 4 and win a game for your club.
Well, some conversation after the game on whether or not Upton was going full speed down the first base line on that play. And I had the same clock going. Your clock's more accurate than mine because you've been out there doing it. But I was astounded that Ian Desmond was able to throw him out.
Yeah, same here. I thought it was just a token throw across the diamond and make it look good.
0-2. Desmond, a good take. The ball gets through, but that's a swing, and evidently Ian Desmond's out. And the inning's over. Confusion reigns on the infield. Took Tim Wilkie a while to let everybody know what was going on. Through Christian Bethencourt. Took everybody a while to figure it out, and when Desmond left the home plate area, he was ruled out. The Braves lineup, they're hitting .243, 10th in the league, 14th in runs. In fact, they've got a -3 on their runs for the season. Andrelton Simmons, he had a double in the 6th, a double in the 9th last night, but he's 0 for 6 career against Tanner Roark. Phil Gosselin, the former UVA Cavalier, in that leadoff spot. So here's Roark making his 7th career start against Atlanta. and they haven't beaten him yet.
13-10 with a 2.96. Last start, he earned the 6-2 series opening win at Citi Field. 6 1/3, gave up 2 runs on 7 hits. Struck out 1 Met, walked 1 Met through 87 pitches. He's posted a 2.10 ERA in 6 games, 4 starts against the Braves career.
Well, GOSSELIN getting a big-time tryout in the leadoff spot for the Braves right now. Roark gets the inside edge with a strike. 25-year-old native of Westchester, PA, 5th rounder for the Braves 4 years ago out of UVA. And he got a base hit right off the mound and right up the middle. So he's 26 for 90 as a big league hitter.
I'll tell you what, his swing, the way he runs, and even his appearance a little bit is like a mini Zim. Maybe that's how they teach you to hit at UVA, but very similar swings. And good start for GOSSELIN and the Braves.
Well, like Ryan Zimmerman, he's hitting 289 right now. Pretty much the range Ryan has been throughout his career. And here's Simmons. Runner going and protecting the runner. A foul ball by Simmons.
Freddie Gonzalez playing hit and run baseball right out of the gate. Not wasting any time. So the defense for the Nats real quick. Harper, Span, Worth your outfield. Desmond, Rendon, Cabrera, LaRoche, and Wilson Ramos behind the plate.
Yeah, Bryce had to lead the game last night. Feeling a little lightheaded. Early innings. Back in there this evening. And I'm glad you mentioned Ryan Zimmerman early in the evening, because I'm pretty sure Ryan's tuned in down in Florida tonight, and we want him to know, as always, he's on our minds when he's not with the ball club. Hope to see him soon, and maybe real soon. Up the middle, Desmond right at the bag, and that's a 6-3 double play. Gosh, you mentioned Ryan Zimmerman. Look what happens.
Well, if it means a double play every time you mention him. That was tailor-made, and you see why Freddie Gonzalez was thinking about hit and run baseball. Tanner Roark does a nice job of some subtle sink on that ball to get it right off the barrel to the label, and a tailor-made 6 unassisted 3 double play.
By the way, Ryan Zimmerman today 2 out of 5 with a pair of W's. When they started it was called a sim game. At the end they called it a Zim game. So swinging the bat well, 4 total bases today. Good for him. I like the fact they were doubles. That means he was running the bases, and that's what the Nats are really wanting to see from Ryan. Here's Freddie Freeman, a Nats nemesis, 5 out of 12 career against Roark, who makes a brilliant pitch on the inside corner to get the count to 1-2.
Well, I think that's what you got to do to Freddie. Keep the ball close, pound him in. Don't let him get extended.
Well, Tim Timmons tossed him last night. A high breaking ball, high in the zone, shall we say, to end the 6th inning from Steven Strasburg. Freddie broke his bat in half, got tossed. Freddie Gonzalez came out, kicked the bat, and he got tossed.
Yeah, both Freddies back tonight. Last night, no Freddies. Tonight, they're back in the house.
1 ball and 2 strikes. Roark running that 92 in on him.
It's a good pitch. If you're going to miss in there, miss off the plate.
Ball in, says Tim Wilkie. Look out.
See, that's the only thing he can do with that pitch if he's looking in there. It's so hard to keep that thing fair. All he can do is take that front hip sinker and pull it foul if you're Freddie Freeman, and it's placed perfectly like this one was by Roark. Look at that, right on the black.
Freddie Freeman gone. And Tanner Roark, thanks to the double play, faces only 3 batters in the bottom of the first. Bryce Harper is our Honda due-up. Bryce, as we mentioned, pretty good success against Orang. He's been hitting some home runs on the road lately, including the Ruthian Clout in New York.
You're worried about it. Top of the second, no score. The Junior Nationals Kids Club is excited to host movie night at Nats Park on Friday, September 19th. Fans are invited to sit on the field and enjoy a screening of the Lego Movie on the Nats HD video board. Tickets are limited. It can be purchased at nationals.com/juniornats. I have no idea why the Braves fans are booing the Junior Nats. That's just uncalled for.
He's not a junior Nat anymore, is
he?
He's
21.
It's outside to Bryce. 1 strikeout before being removed from the game last night. Still hitting .298 over his last 31 games. 16 RBIs on that streak with 9 home runs. Good breaking ball by Aaron Harang, and the count's even 1-1.
Setting up in on Bryce. That's a dangerous place to go. Better get it in there. Now they're going away.
He didn't get it away, and Harper hammers it to center. Second time the Nats have their leadoff man aboard with a base hit.
I watched that Mission October last night. They did a fine job on that, and they had Bryce mic'd up for his home run that he hit at Citi Field. And you can't hear it on TV, but when he's mic'd up, he gives a little grunt at contact. And it was pretty interesting to hear him mic'd up for that home run right when he hit it. And I think we did the same thing. That one's still going.
Yeah, he went, we went, wow.
Yeah.
Here's Wilson Ramos, 1 for 5 career, with a home run against Orang in time given. Might have been called, or at least requested, by the catcher. I love Bryce's closing line on that sequence, where he said, I was standing there because I thought it might go foul.
And that's exactly what we thought. And I even mentioned, hey, he's not showing him up. He's just kind of keeping his head still to make sure that he can see it. You start running, sometimes your head bobbles. You lose sight of the ball.
Nationals first 6 batters, 3 on base. Bryce hasn't done a lot of attempted stealing this year. He's just 1 for 3. Ramos RBIs in 5 straight games. And he couldn't get to the 81 breaking ball, 0-2.
Bryce kind of moving the dirt around at first base right now. Looks like it's a sand pit over there. Tom Hellion called timeout, trying to get a toehold in his lead.
Against a right-handed batter, you'll hardly ever see Bethancourt setting up anywhere near the outer half of the plate. Almost everything is off the corner out there. It's what makes that at bat Jayson Werth had so great in the first inning. Fell behind 0-2. Away, away, away. He wouldn't bite, and they walked him. That ball runs back, and it stays outside. Orang acting as if he thought he might have a strikeout.
He tried to run it back, and you look where Bethancourt is set up, Carp, to your point. He's almost in the left-handed batter's box.
Now back more behind the plate, but it's a throw over.
There was a day here in the 90s when the Braves staff was so well respected that Javi Lopez could have set up in the Braves dugout, and if Maddox hit him in the glove, they would have called it a strike.
That is a big zone. Ramos having a good at bat. Now he won't bite on 2 strikes, and Harang's going to have to throw him a strike. This is good stuff by the Nationals hitters early. Orang 19 pitches first inning. He's at 27 without an out.
He's a nibbler. He's going to try to get you to get yourself out.
And Ramos is going to be called out. Looking back at Tim Welke and maybe saying, okay, I'll take that for my guy if you're going to call me out.
Well, I think Ramos's beef is not that it was called a strike, but it was exactly the same as the pitch he took. I think the second pitch was pretty close on pitch track. And he said, that's the same pitch. One's a strike, one's a ball. He's confused.
That'll bring in Asdrubal Cabrera. So of the 8 position players, the Nats feature 4 left-handers tonight. One of them Span aboard, the other one Harper, also a base hit. So the lefties are 2 for 3. And Cabrera gets under this one. Out to center. B.J. Upton looking up into the early twilight, and he has it for the second out.
All right, it's time to tweet your photo. You know the hashtag, Masson Fan Photos, for a chance to have it shown in a future broadcast. That's brought to you by AT&T.
Tanner Roark, 6 base hits on the year. 10 in his career with 1 RBI. Boy, Nationals pitchers in this series. Zimmerman, Sunday a sacrifice, almost hit a home run. Then Strasburg last night, a sacrifice, a walk, and an RBI single. Pitchers helping their cause last couple of days. And Roark will take strike 2. Steven got number 12 last night.
Tell you what, if I ever had a pitcher like Harang that was just everything on the corner away, I'm getting right on the plate and daring him to come in. He'd break my bat in 54 pieces, but I'm getting out there and getting a little bit closer to the plate. As a hitter, you don't want to make it too obvious because the catcher will look down at your feet and see a different spot. But the adjustments you make, if he's not going to throw anything on the other side to back me off, I'm getting right on top of the dish and say, come in here, baby. See if you can get in here. Look at everything, even the Tanner Roark, he's staying away. We're trying to. I mean, set up out there.
Yeah, lost the release point on that one. Two-two.
Going out there again. We're trying to. It's different if a guy's throwing like Strasburg 96, 97, he's painting away, because if he comes in, there's no way you're getting to it. But when it's 88 to 90, as a hitter, you can still react to that pitch on the inner half as a right-hander if he decides to come in there.
Roark up the middle. It's got a chance. Corralled by Simmons. Base hit. 2 on, 2 out. And how about these Nats pitchers swinging the bat in Atlanta so far? A big 2-out opportunity for DENARD Span.
A nice piece hit by Tanner Roark. You see the ball run back. It's up. It's down the middle. And Tanner Roark, the athlete, takes advantage. Nice effort by Simmons, for the record, diving for this baseball. But now the line moves to DENARD span. He of 175 hits.
Yeah, second most in the National League. Only 3 behind Hunter Bentz. Made it to 35 RBIs in the year when he hit that home run in New York. Inside the numbers with Jeep. National League double leaders. So there's Freddie Freeman sitting at number 2, and then Rendon and Span right behind Paul Goldschmidt. Not to mention the fact that these guys have, between them, scored 211 runs. And Harang just floating it upstairs at 83, 2-0.
Yeah, one thing he hasn't done here that he did last start is throw that changeup for a strike consistently yet. His fastball command so far to the glove side has been above average. But the slider's been okay, the changeup's been okay. And last time out at Nats Park, they were all good.
Span trying to guide another one to left field on 2-0.
It's so important to jump out on top tonight. Play from ahead.
DENARD span on the year 55. Multi-hit games, tied with Robinson Cano for the most in baseball. Three and two. Bryce Harper about to get a head start at second. Tanner Roark 90 feet behind him as Harang reaches 40 pitches in two innings.
Oh, it's a big miss right there. It gives Roark a head start, gives Bryce a head start, but it also makes the Brave infield throw a cross and not take the force out. So on a ground ball, you got to get the speedy Span.
And Span takes strike 3. Harang just nipping some corners here so far, and the Nats haven't scored in 2.
away for the Nationals from clinching the National League East. So what's the vibe inside the clubhouse like today when the Nationals know that they can get things locked up with a win either today or tomorrow over the Braves? Well, in a lot of ways, it was a normal day. Guys going through their normal pregame routine, whether that's going to the gym, getting in there hitting. Some guys sitting around watching TV or joking with each other. But they all know what can happen today, and many said out of the corners of their mouths that there's definitely a sense of excitement around the ballpark today. The Nats want to get this over with as soon as possible, and make no mistake of this as well. They'd like to do it here against their top division rival and the reigning NL East champions. Matt Williams was asked about how he feels with the division within reach, and not surprisingly, he stayed pretty businesslike, saying there's just more folks around, more media folks, as he kind of smiled and looked at reporters and cameras in front of him. But in Williams' mind, the focus stays the same. Just try to win. And he says if we can do that, the rest will take care of itself. The Nats know what's at stake. They'd like to get it done with now, but they're going to take it as any other game, guys. Once first pitch has been thrown, they're approaching it just the same as any other night.
And that's Dan with our AFCEA sideline report from AFCEA, the Association for Global Security Professionals.
Well, that gets back to the points we made earlier in the show about 2012 and happy to be there. That's not the feeling now. They're thinking they have a lot of October work to do. So tonight, the appetizer, the tailgate party, if you will, it's goal number one. It's the first one you have to achieve, but it's not the same go berserk that you did in 2012 because it was the first time for the franchise. You celebrate tonight, you have a blast, you get in that clubhouse and do it in a classy way. But there is far more on your agenda this year than there was in 2012.
And that ball hit a mile and way foul, as Justin Upton leads off the bottom of the second. He's hit 27 home runs, third most in the league, behind Giancarlo Stanton and the Cubs' Anthony Rizzo. And a 1-2, and it stays upstairs. Things going a little crazy early in Baltimore tonight. Orioles magic number 1. Toronto will run in the first. The O's got 3. Now the Blue Jays have scored again in the top of the second. 3-2 game. 2-2 to Upton against Tanner Roark here. He's 2 for 10 career, and Roark misses at the top of the zone. And a foul ball. On line for us, but about 50 feet short. FP taking his DENARD span jab step on that one.
It's ready. Adam played perfect. It's late in the season.
Good scouting by the broadcast team. Got him! Inside the top of the zone. Upton knew it. 2 consecutive Ks for Tanner Roark. Nissan will track it.
You know, at times with Tanner this year, he's gotten real quick and flown open with the front side. He doesn't get the run back on his fastball. Tonight, he's staying closed. He's really getting inside that 2-seam fastball, and he's got good run back, both to Freddie Freeman and right there to Justin Upton. That's a good sign.
Yeah, he almost looks like he's in slow motion tonight, and then really exploding to the plate. Good stuff. Here's Hayward. He'd been batting leadoff a lot this year, but now 5th. He had a single to right in 4 trips last night. 2-0.
A lot of heaters.
And a ball popped up left side. Rendon looking up. Ball comes back into the lights. And now Jason Hayward is 0 for 9 career against Tanner Roark.
But it's a perfect example about the life that the Roark fastball has tonight. You got a good fastball hitter. He's ahead in the count 2-0. He's geared up for heater, and that beat Jason Hayward. Beat him bad.
And here's Christian Bethancourt. He goes up hacking, and that's off to the right.
You talk about who might go into the bullpen for the playoffs. If Tanner Roark does, he's a guy that could give you an inning. And a late inning at that, sitting at 94, 95 miles an hour.
Yeah.
For one inning, he has that in his back pocket. And even that 92, you see it's playing quick tonight. A lot of late swings on the heater up. Not where he usually likes to live, but the Braves aren't catching it.
Working up in the zone, and the count's 2-2.
We mentioned it, Doug Fister's last start against the Braves. They're a good low ball, fastball hitting team. So if you're Doug Fister, do you change your game plan, start to elevate your sinker? No, you just do your thing and let the sinker work. I think what you're seeing here tonight from Tanner Roark, and you saw it with Strasburg last night, they're trying to elevate on purpose.
Well, he ends another inning with a strikeout. Freeman last time, Bethancourt this time. Tanner Roark is on his game tonight. 2 innings, 6 batters, a double play, 3 strikeouts.
Somewhere tonight, checking us out. Just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, look forward to Miller time later in the game that is brought to you by Miller Lights.
Third inning, top of the third, 2-3-4 for the Nats. Here's our Honda do-up. What they've done on the road trip. Anthony, all 11 of those hits in New York. 0 for 5 in Atlanta so far. So we're waiting for damage in the South. Worth a couple of doubles, a couple of RBIs, and a walk tonight. Adam LaRoche, 3 for 20. But he's done big-time damage with those 3 hits. Rendon fly ball to center, first time up. So a rather puzzling number of 0 for 8 career against Harang with a walk.
I'll tell you what, when I hear Anthony Rendon is 0 for 8 against somebody, I envision 4 lineouts.
Two and 0.
Boy, left center field is open for a triple. Look at that. That's the furthest I've seen a center fielder swung around for Anthony Rendon all season.
Shows you how they're going to pitch him. And that's in there, 88. Now you figure Harang's going to go back to his baiting on the outside edge. And a ball flared to right and well fouled.
So it's dressed like a hunter. Get in free night here at Turner Field.
I thought it was the Georgia Interstate Highway Cone Association that was here tonight. 2-2, and that's a breaking ball, low in the dirt, 3-2. A lot of orange from foul pole to foul pole.
I feel like we're at Camden Yards.
Either that or a whole bunch of Tennessee football fans are lost. (3-2). Rendon a chopper, third base side. Johnson has to wait for the ball. Rendon is out on a close play. Tom Halligan calls him out, and there's no argument from the runner or the first base coach.
Thought he was out, but Randy Norris still went to the phone. Matt Williams deciding on the step, but I think they got it by half a step, and yeah, we're gonna play ball. That's the first time I've seen Matt Williams actually give the hitter a sign. He looked at Jason Worth and he gave him the hit away sign, like, go ahead. You know, if he gets in the box, you can't review it. So Worth looking at Williams. Williams told him to hit.
Yeah, Rendon obviously out on the replay. Worth was behind 0-2, coaxed to walk first time, and a breaking ball is in there. Uncertain on the swing, 0-2. And a pretty good piece of contact there. Simmons knocks it down, and he gets Jason Worth still.
I stayed with it nice, and that's not the 0-2 pitch that Aaron Harang wanted to make to Jason Worth. He hung it. Worth hit it hard. This infield here at Turner Field is so quick, and when it gets to the dirt, it's so hard. See that last little hop, a tough hop for Simmons. Stays with it nice. Little spin move, throw on the money. And usually as an infielder, you don't want to pick up a ball that you boot with your glove, but that was behind Simmons. That was really his only choice. He and Desmond last night, you saw on that game-ending play, picked it up with his bare hand and just threw it.
There's Adam LaRoche, who lined out to left first time. Pulls that one. Freddie Freeman to the bag. And the Nationals still having a hard time doing anything against Aaron Harang this year. Of hitters so far, and Aaron Harang stymieing the Mets, or rather the Nats. He probably did it to them too. New for next year, the Nats have launched Nats Plus. It's an exciting membership program for full and half season plan holders. Offer experiences, rewards in excess, does Nats Plus. 202-675-NATS or visit nationals.com/Nats Plus. .30 pitches, 20 strikes for Tanner Roark so far. This is Chris Johnson. And a ball stroked to the right side. That'll bring in B.J. Upton, the number 8 hitter. Braves' second hit.
How did Ryan Zimmerman do again today?
He went 2 for 5 with a pair of doubles.
All right. That's good news.
In case you joined us late, the last time we mentioned Ryan, the hitter immediately bounced into a double play. It's not a double play pitch, it's upstairs. And Upton took it. That'll tail back to the the outside edge as Tanner Roark has some good swing back action on the fastball tonight.
I think he's trying to elevate on purpose. I'm watching his mechanics and they're perfect. There's been a lot of high fastballs tonight, but I think it's by design.
90 on that one. Desmond Cabrera communicating up the middle on a ground ball possibility. And a 1-2 with the runner holding. It's fastball just missing. 2-2. And this one popped up right side. Pointing up the air, Cabrera. We are beyond twilight time here, so a nice dark sky for that white baseball. And Worth takes it for the first out. Pitcher coming up. Turner Field, Atlanta, home of the Braves. Since 1997, they broke ground on their new ballpark up in the north suburbs today. SunTrust Field, they'll move in there, they think, 2017.
Tell you what, I haven't seen Tanner overpower hitters with 91, 92 all year, but so far in this one, he has overpowered the Braves with his fastball. Threw a nice slider to strike out Bethancourt to end the second, but it's mostly been fastballs.
And a 1-0 pitch, he deadens it nicely. LaRoche tells the pitcher, I'll take it. It'll be 3-4 on the sacrifice, and the Braves get a runner to scoring position for the first time. That'll bring in Phil Gosselin, who singled up the middle first time up.
A center cut fastball and an 0-1 count went right back up the middle. See how Tanner Roark and Wilson Ramos approach this Gosselin at bat.
And he pulls it on the ground, Ian Desmond. That'll do it. Leadoff single, no problem for Tanner Roark. 3 brilliant innings under his belt. Desmond, Harper, and Ramos straight ahead.
We've seen it twice now on this road trip. Players not knowing how many outs there are. Watch Chris Johnson at second base, 2 outs, right? Ground ball hit. You advance right here. Maybe even run a little interference for Ian Desmond. He goes back to the bag with 2 outs. And there is absolutely no reason in the world to do that. The play's at first base. There's no way that Ian Desmond will throw to third in that situation. Chris Johnson just forgot how many outs there were.
It's a long season when it's game number 151 and you're 11.5 games out of first place, but your ball club's mathematically alive in the wild card race.
Yeah, I don't know that there's ever a reason for that. Like I said, at Citi Field, when Travis d'Arnaud jogged to second on Tanner Roark's last start, for that matter.
Got himself doubled off first in a routine little fly ball.
There's many big scoreboards in a major league ballpark, and it's all you got to do is turn around and look at it, and you'll know exactly how many outs there are. The zero on this board right now is as big as a zero I've seen in any ballpark. Yeah. So imagine how big the 2 just looked.
As big as Freddie Freeman, I think. Ian Desmond, a check swing that was called a strikeout to end the first inning with 2 men aboard. Two and one. And a big swing. Ended up taking one hand off the bat. Well, Aaron Harang just has the ability to take the life out of an offense for innings at a time. See if maybe somebody can stay on a ball, do some damage going the other way. And Desmond will strike out as he tips it into the mid of Bethancourt. Aaron Harang, 4 strikeouts tonight.
Well, I give you this one tonight. Fans ages 21 and older can purchase beer for only $5 Wednesday, September 24th. That's against the New York Metropolitans. Some restrictions apply. Get your game tickets by calling the number on your screen or visiting nationals.com/tickets.
Bryce Harper base it up the middle first time. Slow curve drops in, 74.
Guys like Aaron Harang stay around because A, they throw strikes, and B, they love to face aggressive teams. If you want to be aggressive with him, that's playing right into his hand because he's just going to tease that strike zone all night long. You've seen him do it. I mean, he's going to make an occasional mistake, and he's going to have some outings where he doesn't have the command, and when he does it, he gets hit hard. But when he has that command and he's able to take advantage of your aggressive nature, that's when he goes deep into games.
Harper, a very late swing on 89. You can kind of tell when Bryce hits against this guy, it's just hard to keep his feet still. And Bryce has had success with a base hit tonight. 7 for 15 against Harang. Hope he didn't hurt himself on that.
I think he's just trying to clear his throat.
2-2. And Harper, just a little looping liner over to Chris Johnson at third. Boy, you see some interesting contact against this right-hander. Base is empty, 2 outs. The last National to have a base hit, Tanner Roark, 6 in a row since. Wilson Ramos took a swing back fastball for strike 3 2 innings ago after Harper had led off the second with a single. He's not waiting. That ball actually had some hook on it before it hit the ground. Wilson Ramos hit it so hard. Second hit of this series, third time on base.
I'll tell you what, besides Bryce Harper's swing in the second inning and lead off with a single, as Drupal Cabrera's had the best hack all night. He just missed going deep first time up. As you see Wilson Ramos going right back up the box for a 2-out nine. But he played ambush baseball, swung at the first fastball he saw, and he was on it, just got underneath it, but his timing was exactly where it needed to be.
Goes the other way, hits it well, and out of play. Harang 51 pitches, first 3 innings. Got him in order in the third, but the only time he's done that tonight. The Nats have had 4 hits. Just stays up or away.
Maybe away. I don't think it was up. Well, Pitch Track said it was.
And a 1-2 to Cabrera. And that breaking ball hit to the right side, speared by Freddie Freeman. The Nationals, 4 hits and 5 runners stranded in a scoreless game.
Here at Turner Field. No scores. We head to the bottom of the fourth inning. I want to show you how Tanner Roark handled Freddie Freeman, Nats killer, last time up. It was with fastballs in. There's a couple in here, pitches 4 and 5, that Freeman had a chance to do some damage. But you see the poundage in, and then he goes right down the middle there. That was a mistake. Freeman fouled it off. Another mistake right there, fouled it off. Now watch the poundage. In. Now a little mistake right here. I shouldn't say a mistake. He set up away after he got Freeman all thinking about the fastball in. So that's the best sequence we've seen versus Freddie Freeman this year. Steven did a nice job with him last night, but Tanner Roark handled him well first time around.
Interesting. So you don't always get him out on the inside pitch, but you pitch him in to set up other things.
You get me thinking about that,
exactly.
And you establish it in there for a strike. Now I start leaking with the hips, with the front side, starting my swing early, and I'm spent on anything that's away.
Simmons, Freeman, Upton. So we'll see how Tanner handles things second time around. Andrelton Simmons hit a bouncing ball up the middle first time. He and Desmond turned it into a 6-3 double play. Braves have 2 hits, leadoff hits in the first by Gosselin, in the third by Johnson. And in the fourth by Simmons.
Kind of muscled that one out there. Shows you how strong Simmons is.
Here we go, Freddie Freeman.
You know, if you stay in there, Carp, there's not a whole lot he can do with it. Every once in a while, you see Freddie Freeman, if it's down and in, kind of with that cricket swing where he drops the barrel on the baseball and hits it to left. But if it's around the belt or above in, he has trouble handling it. He really can't keep it fair.
And this one, inside out swing out to left. Bryce Harper. Always a big out when the Nats get Freddie Freeman. And in this series now, he's 1 for 5.
Did you see how
his first time up last night?
Did you see how his hands were inside, though? So he knows they're pounding him in. And he knows if he tries to pull it, it's all he's going to do is pull it foul and it's a strike. So this time up, he tries to go inside out swing on the fastball and flies out to Bryce.
Nice.
They've known what to do to Freddie Freeman for a while now, but executing the plan the way Tanner Roark has so far tonight really hasn't happened consistently, but that's a nice job twice.
So here's Upton, who took a called third strike leading off the second.
And I'll tell you what, you talk to pitchers, Carp, and you say, okay, we're going to pound this guy in, but they also know if they miss an inch or two over the plate, it's going to seats.
It's getting pounded.
So
yeah.
that whole game plan of, hey, we're going to pound Freeman in is nice in theory. But having the intestinal fortitude to execute the game plan and being willing to go in there are two totally different things.
Might have been his best breaking ball of the night right there to Justin Upton. Really breaking one off. Hitter pulling off, strike one. There's another one. 84, a beauty, 0-2.
He reads swings. Tanner Roark's as good as anybody. Watch the swing. It's to the pull side. He's thinking, I'm yanking this in the bleachers. Roark throws a slider away, and there's no way he can even see that once his bat gets in the zone.
Well, does he show him a heater up and in to set something up, or does he triple up here? There's the fastball up.
The one thing we've seen Upton be able to do is take a slider if it's up in a way and pull it for distance.
Bottom of the fourth inning, no score. Nats have out hit the Braves 4-3. Simmons doesn't run much. He's 4 for 9 this year. Careered. Not much at all, really. Got him. 92. And he's got Justin Upton talking to himself heading out of the batter's box. 2 down.
Well, Upton was looking for this, got it, and missed it. You see the head flying open, and that was the difference. See his head come out of there? Watch the front shoulder fly, the head fly, and the perfectly executed sinker.
Roark, 4th strikeout, Upton twice. And he faces Hayward, who fouled out to Rendon.
Oh, did you see Hayward take his hand off the bat? That was a run back sinker right there, and he thought it was going to hit him. That's how much movement Tanner Roark has on his 2-seamer right now. Scared Hayward.
Then he goes changeup, and it fades away. A little different wrinkle right there. Right under his hands, right on the inside corner, and right at the knees.
See what he did, though? He sped him up. Watch Tanner Roark go slide step. And that's not because Simmons is going to steal. It's because he changed his delivery on Hayward and, in essence, quick pitched him right there with no leg kick. Pitch shocked Hayward. Was by him before he could swing. That one he had the traditional leg kick. The one before he just, and he does that. He'll do that with a runner on second too.
Two with a runner at first and 2 down. And Roark tries to run it back, and he missed inside. 3-2.
So this is the different looks Roark will give you, not as a base stealer, but as a hitter. Look at no leg kick. Hayward wants to swing. It's right down the middle, but he surprised him. And then that's with the leg kick. Misses high with this one, but just wanted to show you the 2.
Good speed at first. Simmons on the move now. And Hayward reaching for what probably would have been ball 4.
Run a blast from the past. The best I ever saw at the quick pitch was an Atlanta Brave. And it was when I used to watch games on WTBS as a kid. It was Rick Naylor. And he would sit there in the stretch and then just go so fast that it would surprise a hitter, and he couldn't swing.
3-2. And a ball to right. Here comes Worth. He's there. Might have been battling the lights right at the end of that. Well, the way this guy's pitching, get him some runs. Roark leading off, so you get yourself some runs.
Get him some run.
Cardinals baseball on Masson, brought to you by T-Mobile. Centennial Park, all the fountains still going.
Ah, the Bellagio's.
Nice.
So nice this time of year.
We don't have any water left in Vegas to do the Bellagio anymore. PNC Bank with our minor league report for the Achiever in You, and we check in on Michael A. Taylor. What he did Harrisburg this year, Eastern League Rookie of the Year. The numbers you're looking at earned him a call-up to Syracuse, and then, of course, a couple of times with the Nats here. So nice in September to see these young guys we've been hearing about. Souza to your right. Taylor hit 315 combined, Harrisburg and Syracuse. Souza just dominated the International League.
Nats find a way to win tonight. They better keep the champagne to a minimum because they're in the game tomorrow.
1-1. And then, of course, you can't celebrate too long in terms of days, because then that other thing starts happening. Who has the best record in the league and who's got the most wins down the stretch for that home field?
Just like I said before, you check the box, mission one accomplished, but you have more on your agenda.
Breaking ball, and Roark hits it to right. It'll back up Jason Hayward. Tanner's had two good swings tonight. Top of the order now, Span and Rendon. Top of the fifth. The way this game's going, you just kind of get the feeling that this is somewhere in the middle of Act 2. You know, Act 1, nothing through 3, no score. Teams having a hard time getting guys on base. Act 2 has begun, the middle of the ball game, and both pitchers still doing their things. Who will be around toward the end? And Span will get a breaking ball and pop it up into right center. Hayward, 2 outs.
Get your tickets right now for Saturday, September 27th. That game is against the Marlins, and 25,000 fans get a Tyler Clippard bobblehead. That's a fan's choice, folks. That's presented by PNC. Get it at all gates while supplies last. Check out the start time, 4:05 against the Fishes.
Does he always look at his glove before he delivers that changeup?
I think he does.
Here's Rendon. Anthony, fly ball to center, ground ball to third. Harang continues to execute his pitches tonight. He's got serious command. .66 pitches through 4 for Harang, 44 strikes. And the 1-1 pounded up the middle. Backhand, Gosselin. Long throw. Freddie Freeman does a dance into foul ground and stays on the bag. That's well done on both ends.
Yeah, nice play by Gosselin right there. Got it in the air. And once you get the ball in the air, you're going to beat the runner more times than not. Nice footwork by Freeman on the backside.
Atlanta Braves giving the Nats a little October baseball battle here. One of those tight ball games where one pitch, one swing will be so big. So Harang 74 pitches, 50 strikes. Tanner Roark 55 over 37. The rookie catcher Bethancourt, Chris Johnson, B.J. Upton. He went. Tanner Roark, 35th start of his big league career, 30 of them this year. Keeping the ball away on the corners like Harang, but with more power.
Just doing a nice job of executing the plan, reading swings, and seeing the Bethancourt is not seeing the slider, not picking up the rotation at all. He's convinced these are fastballs until it's too late. Yeah, that one was never a strike. That's an easy take. But the first pitch from Tanner started a strike. Second pitch the same.
And a 1-2 fastball up and in.
So if you're Bethancourt right now, you got to be thinking, okay, show me the fastball up and in. And I'm a catcher, and I would call a slider down and away. That's what I'm thinking if I'm him.
Right to where Cabrera was playing. Tanner Roark continues to impress. All right, how about Dan on Desmond? Take it away, buddy.
Bob, Ian Desmond idolizes Frank Robinson, and years ago he learned a message from the former National skipper. Robinson told him, you can talk when you're on the bench without looking at the other person you're talking to. Pay attention to the game, see what's going on. You never know what you may be able to pick up. Well, last night Desmond noticed throughout the game that Andrelton Simmons was slowly moving back to his shortstop position after pitches when a runner was on first, and that he might be able to exploit that later in the game. In the 8th inning, that chance came, and Desmond took off on a delayed steal with 2 outs. He made it safely and then scored on a Nate Shearholtz single to give the Nats their 4th run, and it turned out to be a critical run. That's a message that Desmond has remembered from Robinson. He got a chance to implement it last night. He struck, got that delayed steal, and ended up contributing and being a major factor in the win.
And a ball lashed out into left center. Can Span hold the runner to 1? He will. And look at the throw right to the bag. Good stuff, Dan, and that's, of course, the reason Ian Desmond years ago changed his number to number 20 to honor Frank Robinson, the great Hall of Famer, who it was our honor to be in the presence of for several years as the Nats skipper.
And we said last night that you do the delay steal by catching the middle infielders asleep. They actually caught Christian Bethancourt 2 last night, but you know, heads up base runners, they'll look at the middle infielders after every pitch. Are they moving to the bag? All it takes is a couple of steps. And I even used to whistle into the catcher and say, hey, take care of the delay.
Yeah.
And you show them with your hand the delay signal. Now, there's always something to see in a major league game. The best players always pay attention.
And a chopper. Rendon to first. No chance at all to think about a forced play. And with the pitcher coming up, you just want to get that second out.
Well, here's the delay steal. Watch Ian Desmond up here. And Bethancourt double pumps because Simmons wasn't there. And for you kids at home, I mean, it's a great way to steal a base. What it is you get in your primary lead. It's 2 long, low shuffles. So it's shuffle, shuffle, which mimics your secondary lead. And then where you normally go back to first after the pitch, you just continue to second. So it's shuffle, shuffle, go. But there's a lot of stuff that goes into it before you just pull it off. You watch the middle infielders and see if they're falling asleep between pitches. That's what Ian Desmond did.
Roark to Harang here. And a fly ball to center for DENARD Span. So a hit by the number 7 batter, no problem. Roark and Harang. Quite a battle. 6th inning now. Straight ahead. of the Washington Nationals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Washington Nationals.
Still no scores. We head to the top of the 6th inning. Nats with 4 hits, Braves with 4 hits, and that is it. The Nationals will host their annual school supply drive on Saturday, September 27th, when the Nats play the Marlins 4:05 start. I think we got that covered. Fans are encouraged to bring new school supplies to benefit D.C. public schools. Donations will be accepted at the center field gate to the end of the 2nd inning. That's good stuff. I have a bunch of unused books from college that I could bring to that. Brand spanking new.
Yeah, we got lots of supplies left from our junior years in high school, 3 of the happiest years of our lives. Aaron Harang, 74 pitches, 50 strikes. Great command. So he's retired 11 of the last 12 Nats now.
I'd say get him in the stretch like Irvin Santana last night, but he's been just as good out of the stretch.
Yeah. Jason Worth, the walk, 1st inning. Bouncer to short, 3rd inning. Lays off the curveball, 1 ball, 1 strike. Harang's outing against the Nats of 7 innings 5 days ago, his longest in his last 4. Time's out.
What Aaron Harang has done so far in this game tonight is what Braves pitchers did throughout the 90s. Just live on the outer half, whether it was Glavine, Maddox. Smoltz would challenge you every once in a while, but you know, this is what they did. They would tease you out there all day long. And right when you start to lean out there, he makes a mistake to Jason, but he's thinking that's going to be away, and it was right down the middle.
Worth 3 for 26 career against Aaron Harang. Right now, the walk's as good as a hit. Worth the walk back in the 1st. Hits by Span in the 1st inning. Harper, also a leadoff guy, in the 2nd. And then Ramos up the middle in the 4th. Tanner Roark had one up the middle in that 2nd inning. And he just throws that one away on 3 and 2, and Jason Worth is aboard. So in 6 innings, the Nationals have had the leadoff man on 3 times. Here comes the left-hander LaRoche.
Yeah, they're playing it straight up too. A lot of hitting room for LaRoche on the right side. You usually have the second baseman way over here somewhere. And the shortstop almost by the bag with a runner on first versus Adam.
So you would think Harang would stay away. It's over the outer half with 90. Adams pulled it once, went the other way first time. Nasty. 87 sliding its way down to the knees on the corner, and Nissan will track it.
That's a cutter from Aaron Harang. Watch the late movement. On top out front. LaRoche gave up on it. It came right back.
Got him. Kind of a dipsy doodle to the outside corner. Just dropping at 74. It's kind of like some of the pitches Adam's dad, Dave LaRoche, used to throw.
Did it come back, though, is my question. It was kind of a backup slider.
Yeah, it stayed outside, not a strike. Now we know why Adam had that expression on his way back to the dugout. Here's Desmond, 2 strikeouts swinging. And then he gets a first pitch fastball, which is probably the last thing he expected. Rough series for Ian so far, 0 for 6, 4 Ks. He could explode at any moment.
Well, if you're thinking about hit and run baseball right here, maybe something to get the offense jump started. I don't think Matt Williams is really going to change the way he's managed all year just because Aaron Harang's got it going on and it's a big game. Could be wrong. Freddie Gonzalez checking for a hit and run, though.
Yeah, and I know why you bring it up, because the count's 2-1. Good running count, a lot of hitting room right side. Freddie Gonzalez pitching staff hanging in there all year, 4th best in the National League in ERA. Desmond drives it to the right side, out of play. Stayed on that ball, thinking about the other side.
Good count to run on if you're Worth. Harang's been quick to the plate, but generally an off-speed count, especially after that fastball was hit pretty hard right there, foul. Might have just told Jason by that throw over that he's going off speed. 9 for 9, that's pretty good.
Nats 95 on the year. 2-2 to Desmond. Breaking ball. Hits it to left. See you later. It's way out of here, and the Nationals lead 2-0.
Number 23 might have been the furthest one Desmond's hit all season. That ball was pummeled.
Hey, I like it.
And the reverse dunk by Ian Desmond. And the Nats go up 2-0.
Well, he did explode. RBI total up to 88. Here's Bryce Harper. He goes up hacking. It's out of play left side. And one swing of the bat makes everything come alive for the Nats here in the 6th.
I'm telling you, the throw over to Jason Worth might have tipped this curveball to Ian Desmond.
Oh, my.
And that ball goes over the walkway and puts the Nats up 2-0. I mean, you're thinking it's an off-speed count, right? The throw over to first base to keep Worth close might have tipped that he was going to throw the curveball right there. Regardless, Desmond was on it like he knew it was coming.
Now Harper on a big curveball, swing and miss.
Huge. For about a billion reasons, huge.
Not to be forgotten, the Worth walk that makes it a crooked number here in the 6th inning. And the 0-2 to Harper. And he can't get it, but he foul tipped it evidently. No, he didn't. I saw the safe sign from the umpire. So it's 2 outs and another look at this mighty blast by Desmond.
Well, that's some serious torque, some serious extension, and watch where it lands.
It was about 350 where it left the ballpark. At least 50 or 60 feet more up to the walkway, and then beyond that. Ramos a swing and a miss.
If you heard a ruckus in the background during that first replay, Tim Welke actually ejected a fan right behind the on-deck circle. He was screaming at Welke. And Welke said, "That's enough, you're out of here." And security came down. He was right by the Braves on deck circle, and they escorted him out of the ballpark. But he was going berserk after the home run.
Probably not the first time Welke had heard from that fan tonight.
I thought it was coming from the Braves dugout initially. I thought, what are they arguing about?
Oh, 2 to Ramos, and he takes the breaking ball low and away. Wilson a strikeout in the second. Base hit up the middle in the fourth. And Harang gets him with 90 down and away. A walk, and I mean a blast by Ian Desmond. 23rd of the year. He got every bit of it. It's one of the hardest swings you'll see from that shortstop. The Nats by 2.
Mercedes-Benz of Arlington, Mercedes-Benz of Alexandria. Ian Desmond, maybe the biggest home run of his career and holding right now. Jason Worth, a big walk to get on, and Tanner Roark has been mowing through the Braves lineup. This is going to be his biggest inning yet. Top of the order for the Braves, and he needs a shutdown piece, but he's handled Freddie Freeman so far. He's handled Justin Upton so far. And done a nice job against Bethancourt with the slider, and Upton once again. So he's got a lead now, folks, and this inning is fairly large. Here we go.
81 with the slight piece for a strike. His breaking ball has been tremendous tonight. Gosselin a base hit up the middle, ground ball to short.
So the Nats have homered in 21 consecutive road games with that Desmond home run. That is tied for second all time with the 2013 Oakland Athletics. Orioles 1996 had 24. They're number 1.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Gosselin base hit up the middle of the first, and a bouncing ball to Desmond. And now he's got another base hit up the middle. Nice and quiet at the plate. Takes what the pitcher gives him. And the Braves have had single hits in 5 of the 6 innings tonight.
A first pitch swinger, and he leaves nothing in the bag. Muscled a single to the left last time up in the 4th.
Simmons showing bunt, pitch away. .91 is low.
All of a sudden, Roark is quick with his delivery. He's going to take a step off the back of the mound and slow things down. He's pitching different now that he's got a lead. He's nice and slow. Mechanics were as perfect as they could be so far, but he's quick right now. He's rushing.
2-0 pitch. He needs a strike and gets it. 66 pitches, 44 strikes through 5. And Simmons bunting for a hit, fouls it at a bad angle off to the left.
I just don't love the play right there by Simmons. You work hard as a hitter to get to a 2-1 count at the big league level. That's not an easy thing to do with guys throwing so many strikes. So now you get to a 2-1 count and you have leverage where you know a fastball is coming and you try to lay down a bunt. Even if it's for a hit, I still like my hitters to hit 2-1, not bunt.
And a breaking ball, and he gets a routine fly ball to center. That is a big-time battle back by Tanner Roark from a 2-0 count, especially with Freddie Freeman walking to the plate now. So the box for the Braves, as I mentioned, 5 singles tonight. First, third, fourth, fifth, and here in the 6th. Chris Johnson 2 for 2. He's gone the other way and up the middle. Freddie Freeman has struck out and has hit a fly ball to Bryce Harper. So here's your shutdown sequence right here. If Roark can get it, Freeman and Upton. Freeman to center. It's deep, but Span is there. And it's a long, loud out. 2 down.
We showed you the pitch sequence with Freeman, his first at bat. As soon as I saw Wilson Ramos set up away, my brain said, uh-oh. They're not going in. They've handled Freddie on the inner half, but look where Ramos is set. Roark hits the target. It's a changeup, but it's the first time that Freeman's been able to get extended tonight. The fact that it was a changeup had him out front just enough to keep that ball in the yard.
2 outs, and here's Upton. Steve McCatty to the mound here.
Just a breather. That's all this is. Say what, at this point, Steve McCatty can see if Tanner Roark's left eyelid twitches a little bit, what he's feeling. I saw something from the dugout. Go out there and make Tanner smile. And
I would pay good money to hear edited comments of Steve McCatty to our pitchers for every visit to the mound this year. Just bump them all together. It would make a hit record and would just have you on the floor probably.
Well, the best part about it is you look at double barrels of the Nats bullpen, Barrett and Thornton getting hot. That Mission October special on the Nats I watched last night was the players mic'd up.
Yeah.
Hearing the conversation, the dugout took me back, had serious flashbacks, and now Tanner Roark looking at another big out.
Upton susceptible to the slider. It's another beauty. Then the heater at 91. I mean, Tanner just exploding off the pitching rubber tonight.
First pitch slider on the black. Second pitch run back fastball. started off the plate, came back.
Tanner will do that when he gets the Upton's 0-2. Show him the heater upstairs. But FP nailed it right from the get-go tonight, working high in the zone to a team that loves fastballs and strikes out a lot.
Fastball's down. They like the low fastball.
Ramos tried to frame it. It was up 2-2.
I'm taking deep breaths for Tanner Roark right now.
And a fly ball to center. Short center. Desmond has it. Leadoff base hit, and Tanner Roark shuts the door again.
And he has got it going on tonight. Winners find ways to win. Yeah, baby.
Come out on deck, and does he come out for the 7th?
And question number 2 is, what is our T-Mobile game changer? Duh. I think we're to go with this right here, maybe.
Wow.
It was a far tater. It was a long tater. And it was a huge tater. Circle number 23 for Ian Desmond on the season. And the reverse dunk was, I mean, it was a give and go. He gave it to Rendon. Rendon gave it back to him and said, hey, that was so far, you need to reverse dunk it.
That was the 90th homer of his big league career. Tanner Roark is on deck. Cabrera, he's had a couple of good swings tonight. Freddie Freeman took a base hit away from him last time. Aaron Harang will go over 100 pitches here in the 7th. So here's a guy who's only given up 2 runs on 5 hits, but the Nats have made him work all night long. And a ball heading for the gap, but easily covered by B.J. Upton. Here comes Roark.
Drupal Cabrera's had 3 good at-bats tonight, nothing to show.
And if this game was at Nationals Park right now, you'd be hearing one heck of an ovation for the pitcher walking up to hit. Dan Kolko, FP, and Bob, all glad to be with you tonight from Turner Field, Atlanta. We've got 1 out in the 7th inning, and the Nats lead 2-0. They took a giant step toward a division title in the 6th. Now it's up to Roark and his teammates to finish it off. Inside out swing, right side, Gosselin, 2 outs. So Harang right at 100. Tanner Roark, by the way, 82 pitches, 54 strikes in his 6 innings. DENARD span 1 for 3. Johnson on the grass at third, infield to pull, but the second baseman not as much as you would think. DENARD uses the middle of the field a lot. It's amazing how many late swings you see on mid to high 80s. One and two. We're going to target Span inside here. And he bounces it, and it goes foul. A diamond where the Nats would like to put an end to this race tonight. And Span, a swing and a miss. Aaron Harang, 7 really good innings. The other guy just a little bit better. It's the Hyundai 7th inning stretch at Turner Field in Atlanta. Roark back to work. you winning? We'll see. Geico highlights. We're going bottom 7. The tomahawk chop is going to make a lot of noise between now and the end of this game that has Ian Desmond's homer. The only swing of the night producing a run. Here's Hayward. And Roark goes breaking ball. Dropped by Ramos, ball 1. Hayward is fouled out to third, lined out to right. And that's way inside.
Well, that pitch right there will definitely get the attention of Matt Williams. You know, he hasn't missed a spot all night long. And when you see a guy yank a fastball like that, that means his legs are fatiguing. And pitch count out the window tonight. There's a lot of mental fatigue going on in a game like this. So see if he can back out in the zone right here.
Right side. He always battles back. He's gone to 2-0 on a number of hitters. Hayward 0 for 3. So let's get our tenacious reporter in. Mass and Dan, what do you got, buddy?
Bob, earlier today, Matt Williams was asked for a word to describe this Nationals team, a quality that he believes stands out about this club. And he said they're tenacious. That's part of their DNA. That's a quality the players determined back in the early stages of spring that they wanted this club to have. Williams says he let his players have a say in how they wanted this team to approach its games, and that was their thinking. Let's be tenacious. Let's apply pressure. And Williams says his players have taken ownership of that, and he's enjoyed watching that play out. That's something, guys, that we've seen especially the last 4, 5, 6 weeks of the season.
Well, that's the personality of their skipper, and that's the way he played the game every single day.
And a ball hammered to center. But if the one last inning didn't go out, you know this one's not. And for Bethancourt, turns into a rather routine fly ball for DENARD Span. So Tanner Roark's gone at least 6 FP for the 24th time this year, trying to go 7 for the 13th.
Kind of touched on it on Master today when I went on with the guys. And by the way, they do a fine job. Don't be afraid to tune in and check out what they're saying. But the greatest compliment a skipper can hear, a major league manager can hear, is that your team is a direct reflection of you. And that has happened here, and it happened early with the Nats, and it's just kind of evolved into where we're at right now.
It's getting late. Top of the 8th coming up. Rendon, Worth, and LaRoche. How about Roark tonight? To you by Coons. When you're talking cars, you're talking Coons. And by New York Life and the agent of the game. Beautiful skyline downtown Atlanta on a Tuesday night in September when the visiting team's hoping to make a little team history. Long way to go here. And every time the Nationals draw a walk this year, Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield contributes $50 to Girls on the Run DC. So this year, 24,000 and counting. It's a chance for 500 walks. Blue Cross Blue Shield encourages each of us to take that first step towards a healthier and more active lifestyle. Here's Jordan Walden, a guy you hate to face when you're down by a couple of runs, but in this case, the Nats are up by 2.
Yeah, fastball average is 96. Slider 83. Changeup 87.
'53rd game. This guy can bring it. He has that unique delivery where he literally jumps in the air off the pitching rubber to deliver it.
Last outing was on the 8th against the Nats. Pitched a perfect inning with a strikeout.
First up, Anthony Rendon. 2-for-8 career against Walden. And then Worth and LaRoche. Tyler Clippard for the 8th. Roark, by the way, 89 pitches, 58 strikes through 7 brilliant innings. And the fastball is outside. It must look like Jordan Walden's throwing 105 miles an hour right now after what the Nats just saw for 7 innings.
But sometimes you want to see that as a hitter. The guy throws BHS, below hitting speed. It's tough. You're used to seeing 95 to 100. You see it every night. Those are the guys you want to face.
Ball away, says Tim Welke, 3-1. Mercedes-Benz will track it. Could have gone either way. Looked like he got it right. Rendon 0 for 3. And by the way, one more note on Tanner Roark, who we have probably bid adieu to tonight. His ERA on the road since the 10th of May, 2.30 coming into this game. So it's down about 2.0 now.
Yeah, what I said in the first inning about him, if I had one game to win, that I would want him on the mound for me. That's my personal opinion based on a lot of years of experience. And winners find ways to win in big games, and they still got a long way to go in this one to the finish line. But there's just certain guys that have it. And you can't really explain it. It's nothing you can put in a stat or in a radar gun or in a stopwatch. It's just the intangibles off the chart. They find a way to beat you. They find a way to win. And he's one of those guys.
Leadoff walk. Last time this happened, it was fatal for the Braves. And so Rendon's aboard here in the 8th.
All right, here's your fan photo. I promised you earlier in the game. That's brought to you by AT&T. That is Mr. and Mrs. Teddy with their kid and some stranger on the left. I don't know who he is.
That's it. Those guys are larger than life.
That kid's head, a lot smaller than Teddy's. Proportional. I like it.
Good for him.
Good looking kid.
Here's Jason Worth. He's 0 for 3 with a walk career against Walden.
Having trouble controlling that cutter to the glove side. He's yanking it.
He's got a lot of moving parts to that delivery. And some flying parts as well. Counts even, 1-1. Worth 0 for 1, 2 walks tonight. Scored ahead of the Desmond home run. Yeah, Walden even pulling the breaking ball out there. That'll be on the outside edge, 96. 2-2, runner going. Low and away. The throw is low and safe. Rendon managing to get in there. His 16th of the year. Boy, and that throw was tailing right into the glove and into the runner. And here comes Freddie Gonzalez. Bang, bang play. Ed Hickok's the umpire.
Well, the fact that the ball had to be scooped out of the dirt means your glove goes up to pick the ball before it goes down. And that's the only chance that Rendon had of getting in there. Watch the glove come up. Did he get it back down? On the back leg, because the front leg did not hit the base. So it's all about the back leg and was it tagged? And they're going to review it. And I think he's out. I think he got him on the back foot because watch the front leg. It doesn't get the base. So now the back leg is tagged and he is definitely out.
Yep, we think the Braves are going to win this one. It's kind of interesting. Some of the Atlanta fans must have thought that was a force play. When they saw it, the ball got there ahead of Rendon, and they cheered way before the tag was made.
I'll tell you what, though, GOSSELIN better watch where he blocks the base because someday someone's going to stick that lead foot in his knee, and I think he didn't mean to, but the throw, his knee is blocking the base.
Umpire's looking at the video. Crowd trying to sell it.
Rendon's taking half a step back to his dugout already. The smile on his face, you see at the top. He's looking at the biggest jumbotron in the world, and he knows that he's out. But GOSSELIN's knee was the reason why Anthony didn't stick his cleat in there. But runners will tell you, if you're going to block the bag with your leg, heads up, because here comes my cleats.
Well, this is taking a while, and that, to me, is interesting.
Just watch him blocking the base with his knee. That's the part I'm focusing in. See him drop the leg right there? So there's really no place for Anthony to stick his lead foot, just toward the back corner. And then tags him right there. If it's conclusive, I think even there on the backside.
Runner is out.
We never talk about if you know you're out and you have to stand in the bag, how awkward that can be for 4 or 5 minutes.
And I was about to say, if this one goes the Nats' way, just go ahead and print the World Series tickets now because you know it's your year. But the umps made the call. Ed Hickok's good veteran guy. Might have been blocked out from that aspect of it. But they got it right. Here's 3-2 to Worth now. And he walks Walden unless Worth swung, and he didn't. 2 walks in the inning.
Did he go? Doesn't matter. He's standing on first. Tom Hallion is the only one that counts, and he said no.
They held.
I'll tell you this, Adam LaRoche is due.
Well, let's see what he's done career against Walden. 7 at bats, 2 strikeouts, 2 hits. So Walden hasn't retired a batter yet. And really, we've never seen him spraying it around like he is this inning. This will be out of play to left. Most popular way to follow the Nats and their push to the postseason. MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball. Live look-ins, replay reviews, scores, broadcasts. MLB.tv game of the day. Check it out, MLB.com. 2-2 to LaRoche. Big gap right center. And he'll bounce it to Freeman. He goes to second, right over the runner, and gets the return throw for a 3-6-3 double play. Well played by Freddie Freeman. Nats a couple of walks, couldn't convert. It's up to the bullpen now.
It's time for your moment in history, brought to you by University of Maryland University College. September 16th, 2006, Alfonso Soriano becomes the 4th player in Major League history to go 40-40. Pretty good company right there. Canseco, Bonds, and Rodriguez.
Yeah, Alfonso was amazing that year for a team that won under 70 ball games. That familiar big late kick of his. And he made RFK Stadium, which was as spacious as this place, look pretty small at times.
His bat was as large as a telephone pole.
Tony Beasley. There's Matty LeCroy. Nats part-time catcher at the time, Jose Vidro. All the guys waiting in the dugout. All right, here we are, years later. It's a different era, and here's Tyler Clippard for the 8th.
Yeah, fastball 92, curveball 75, changeup 81, split 82, and here we go.
B.J. Upton and Tyler Clippard. First pitch swinging, foul ball, softly hit, straight back.
Yeah, right. He's hitting 124 off Tyler Clippard this year. Lefty's a little bit better. Upton 0 for 2 with the ground out to Poplar.
And against Clippard, career 0 for 3 with a walk. Went after him with 91, the heater. And then the Braves' best pinch hitter, Ryan Domit, on deck. And a ball driven to center. Span cruising for it. And he has made 6 of the last 7 putouts. In fact, 7 of the last 8 going to the 5th inning.
DC area Toyota dealers want to help children and their families by making a donation of $37 to the Children's Inn at NIH for every strikeout by Nats pitcher this season.
Next up will be Ryan Domit. Domit against Clippard, career pretty good success. 3 for 6, 2 doubles, and a swing and a miss. Tyler throwing the fastball here tonight. And the breaking ball just a little bit high, but Ramos kept it off the screen.
Little slippage right here, not a big deal. Good take by Domit, laying off a borderline pitch. That could have gone either way.
Yeah, Tyler's been known to put a couple of those up against the backstop. Time given. Ryan Domit fouled out in the pinch hitting role last night, but he's been their best. This will be close, but Anthony Rendon can only watch it hit the top of the dugout. In fact, Ryan Domit just about as many pinch hits as anybody in the league this year, with 13 of them, 2 home runs, 7 batted in. And 11 of those 13 hits from this side of the plate he's on right now. That was a changeup. Pitcher flying toward first. The pitch flying well outside. 2-2. And you know Tyler's got to be jacked right now. Maybe overthrowing that changeup a bit.
I don't know, man. He's been there, done that. I see a different calm in him in the bigger innings this year. That in 2012, first time around, might not have been there. And that's understandable. Being able to control the situation and execute, and not thinking about the outcome. What happens if I make this pitch? But just making this pitch is the difference between
he got him.
Experience and not experience.
Sorry to interrupt. 93 on the heater, 2 outs. How about that?
Well, when it's a pitch like this, Carp, you make the call, baby. That is right there. 93 miles an hour on the black. Perfect pitch. And a thanks for coming.
Wow.
Fastball to Domit.
Yeah,
wow.
That's one of his best heaters of the year right there. Next up, top of the order, GOSSELIN facing Clippard for the first time. I don't know what kind of changeups they have in Division I, but he's about to see something he probably never saw at UVA or at any stops, or very few during the minor leagues.
He's a good player, though. I'm a big fan.
Like his approach.
Like everything about him. The way he plays second base. He's fast. Contact guy, going to give you a good at-bat.
Saw him play a little short in D.C. last week.
More impressed than Bobby or LaStella. LaStella got off to a good start. But Tommy struggled lately, so they've gone with GOSSELIN. He's a good player.
They're giving GOSSELIN a good look. 27 hits in his first 36 big league ball games. Hitting .293. Changeup. Hit hard. Desmond got a nice big hop. 3 outs to a championship. First order of business. Can the Nats pick up a little insurance? Top of the ninth is coming.
Miller Time, brought to you by Miller Lite. And I don't think you're going to get sick of seeing this one, because you're going to see it about 8 billion times in the next couple of days if this one holds up. Ian Desmond with the difference, home run number 23. Tape measure. And the dunk on the backside, the give and go with Anthony Rendon was pretty good too.
Ian Desmond, Bryce Harper, Wilson Ramos against David Carpenter, the hard-throwing Braves right-hander.
A fastball 96, slider 85, occasional change at 88. A few tack-on runs wouldn't be the worst thing in the world.
And a first pitch breaking ball. Desmond fouls it. Ian Desmond against this right-hander, 1 for 7 career with a 2-base hit. Top of the 9th inning, it's 2-0 Washington. Hits are even at 5. Roark and Harang matching up beautifully, and now the bullpens will decide it. Fastball up, 1-1. And a ball slapped to right center. Desmond thinking a couple, and he might be thinking 3. Hayward up with it. Ian is going to go around the bag and stop. And that's a good decision with nobody out, because the middle infielders already had the baseball. That is huge. And we'll see if Bryce Harper can move him or bring him in.
I'll tell you what, Ian Desmond had a tough night last night. He struck out a couple of times, went 0 for 4, but he made a great play to end the game. Tonight, he struck out his first 2 times, and you talk about turning your night around. The 2-run homer we just showed you, now a leadoff double in the gap here in the 9th, and he was thinking about 3. Nice play by Hayward to get that in quick and hold him to a double.
Bryce Harper, 1 for 4 career against Carpenter.
Got to get him over right here at least.
Bryce has been known to bunt in a situation like this too. Looking to pull, he will. That's a one-hopper, broke his bat. GOSSELIN for the first out.
That's a nice job right there. He can come back to the dugout, a hero. Desmond had to freeze because the ball wasn't on the ground initially. But once he saw GOSSELIN go away from the play, advance to third, and Bryce should get tons of high fives after that at-bat. That was big.
So it's up to Wilson Ramos whether the Nats can take a 3-run lead. Wilson has faced Carpenter 6 times without a hit, couple of strikeouts. We've seen the strength of this young man on this road trip. He doesn't have to swing that hard to make it go a ways.
Infield in.
Great speed at third. Ramos thinking elevation, strike 1.
If they are going contact play, it looked like they were, meaning Ian Desmond's going to read the down angle off Wilson Ramos's bat. Chris Johnson playing close to third, so as a base runner here, you can only get as far as the third baseman will let you in your initial lead.
Up and in, the ball gets away. Here comes Desmond. The Nationals lead 3-0. Wild pitch after the double and the grounder.
Yeah, that was a thank you very much. Good read by Desmond. You're wondering if it was going to ricochet back to Bethancourt quick enough to get Desmond. A 2-seam fastball just takes off on Carpenter, and Desmond, with a small hesitation, getting dirty, and a huge tack on for the Nats. 3-0.
One to Ramos. He drives it to right center. Plugging the gap, but Hayward is there with a fantastic play. 2 down.
I'll tell you what I said when they were in Nats Park. He's the best defensive right fielder in the National League, and he's showing you why right here. That ball was splitting the gap perfectly. And when you see your center fielder out of the corner of your eye, it's not easy to lay out for that ball. Jason Hayward running it down and stealing a double away from the Buffalo. What a play.
Asdrubal Cabrera with 2 down. He's faced Carpenter twice this year, once with a base hit. Nate Scherholz, if the inning makes it to the pitcher spot. And a tapper right side. Fair ball, dropped by the pitcher, and the runner is safe. Tried to catch it and make the tag.
A good hustle by Cabrera. Remember, Washington, D.C. Lexus dealers are donating $250 to the Children's National Medical Center for every home run a Nats player hits this season. Lexus, the pursuit of perfection.
Air given to the pitcher on that one. Nate Scherholz 1 for 3 career against Carpenter. One and one.
It's one of those let it rip at bats if you're a pinch hitter. Your ball club's up by a few runs. Get yourself a fastball and come unglued.
And a breaking ball to the right side. Tanner Roark and Tyler Clippard have gotten the Nationals to this point. It's up to Drew Storen to finish off the Braves with 2-3-4 on our T-Mobile duo. Simmons, Freeman, Upton in the way of a championship. Well, Drew Storen had one of the toughest saves of his recent career last night when he had to come in, get a final out after Soriano had given up a couple of doubles and a walk. And tonight, not any easier. Simmons, Freeman, Upton, 2-3-4. The Braves are giving the Nats their best bolt here defensively as well with Hayward a moment ago. And let's see what Drew Storen can do to wrap this thing up.
Yeah, third day in a row for Drew. You remember he had saves on the 7th, 8th, and 9th. Well, 14th, 15th, and now today. Fastball 93.5, slider 82.5. And the changeup 18% of the time at 86. Everybody take a deep breath. Here we go.
Inside the numbers with Jeep. ERA, National League by relievers, and Drew Storen, with the smallest number, is at the top of the list. Andrelton Simmons is first. He's 2 for 7 career against Storen with a couple of strikeouts. .92 for a strike. And a bouncer. Storen has it. Looked up, it was in the glove. 1 out.
2 to go.
Next up is Freddie Freeman. Tanner Roark on the biggest stage of his life tonight was the star for the better part of 2.5 hours. And now here's Freeman. .92, and he gets ahead. Fastballs tonight to get ahead.
We got 3-run lead.
Yeah.
1-run lead, you don't lay a fastball in there. You got the 3-run lead, you can go ahead and challenge.
And 92 with plenty of movement on it.
It's part of the experience that Drew Storen is showing you.
There's the slider coming from the side door, and it's 0-2 to Freeman. That's a dry mouth starting pitcher trying to keep things okay over there. And the 0-2. Freeman up the middle, but Ian Desmond is right there. 2 down.
1 to go.
Freddie Freeman, by the way, we can now mention, still hitless career against Drew Storen, 0 for 9. Next up is Justin Upton. Upton against Storen, career 1 for 4. And the breaking ball, that's the curve at 81 right in there. A beauty. By the way, Drew, 25 years of age when he went through all the closing ups and downs 2 years ago. A trip to the minor leagues, got things figured out, and here he is. And a ground ball to Cabrera. That's a National League East clincher for the Nationals.
For the second time in the last 3 years, the DC stands for division champs.
Well, Drew Storen keeps piling up the saves. That's 7 now. A couple of weeks ago, he had 1.
can't think of a better guy to be on the mound for that. He deserves it. All he's been through, the ups and the downs, back to the minor leagues, the surgery. He becomes the closer late, and he's on the mound for the last out. To win the National League East, that was awesome.
And maybe fitting that this outstanding pitching staff did it with a shutout against the Braves. Out come the ball caps with the W that we saw a couple of years ago. Randy Nord knows what it's like to win a championship. Did it in Potomac several years ago. DENARD span so fantastic since the All-Star break. Setting the table with Rendon. But how about Tanner Roark? 14th win of the year. He and Doug Fister have won 28 games this year.
He's a winner, man. And so is Matt Williams. That's why Mike Rizzo got him here. And the Braves are trying to chase the Nats off the field at the post-game concert. They don't care.
Well, they can have their concert. There's going to be a big party over on the third base side underneath Turner Field in a few moments.
That's awesome.
With tonight's home run hero, Ian Desmond, here's Dan.
Thank you very much, Ian.
All right, having trouble with Dan's wireless mic down there. Hopefully we'll get that sorted out in just a moment. As Ian Desmond got the ball out of the ballpark in the top of the 6th inning after the Worth leadoff walk and the LaRoche strikeout. And then Ian Desmond got a hanging breaking ball. You hang it, he'll bang it. And here come the guys up the runway into the visitors clubhouse here in Atlanta.
The smoke you see right there is a fogger that they've been using all year long. Drake LaRoche coming up. It's a laser fogger that after every win they've been setting off in the clubhouse. There it is. You get a view of it. And let the games begin. I can't tell you how awesome this all is. I'm sure you know, and I'm sure everybody back in D.C. going crazy like they are. You deserve it, folks.
Well, Mike Rizzo, the architect of all this. The Lerner sisters, Bob Tannenbaum down there. We know Mark's here. And as we expected, it looks like a couple of hundred Nats fans have congregated down near that third base dugout. There's Randy Knorr. Tony Tarasco, Steve McCanny says, get out of the way. There's Bryce. Evidently, for the preservation of the spikes, taking them off so they don't spike anybody during the celebration here. Xavier Cedeno. Ali Madami, who pitches great BP for this club. And, of course, Fister and Worth.
You have to have champagne up to your ankles.
That's right. That's right.
I'm telling you, this is the first step. And you can see a little more subdued than 2012 because...
Been there.
Yeah, check the box. This is the biggest step. You have to get in the tournament. But there is so much more work to do. And these guys are so focused being around them every day. They want it all, and that's the way they should think.
There's Drew Storen. Guess what Drew Storen did in the 9th inning tonight? 7 pitches, 7 strikes. That was a quick bottom of the 9th. Ryan Matthews, I think. Kind of hard to identify scuba divers in their gear. There's Ian. Our buddy Dave Jagler from the radio side.
In the clubhouse.
Takes a while to get everything uncorked so this thing can proceed full speed.
Well, I mean, I'm just glad they got it out of the way. They took care of it. You don't want one of those things just, you know, over your head for 3, 4, 5 games. Everybody starts to get tight. You take care of business. Couldn't done it in a better place. And they won't say it publicly, folks, but they wanted to do it here in Atlanta, and they did.
Well, the Braves, their longtime nemesis, And now the Nats have beaten Atlanta 7 of the last 10 times. The season series is now 10-8 Braves. And you'll certainly take that after the Nationals went 6-13 against them last year. So there's our first official fan division champion sign. And it was fitting tonight. There's Tanner Roark. I bet the boys back in Wilmington, Illinois might be tipping 1 or 2 in tribute as well. But FP, it was a classic ball game tonight, featuring good starting pitching, the 8th inning guy, the closer, the clutch shortstop who's led this team in RBIs all year, hitting the big home run. The Nats get another run after Desmond doubled. It's kind of the classic way this team goes about its business these days.
They just found a way to get the job done all year. And I think Tanner Roark.
All right, let's go to Dan. Somewhere in there, he's got Tanner Roark. We see you, buddy.
It's nuts in here, guys. I got Tanner Roark. Tanner, how does it feel to be the guy to clinch it for this team and lock up the National League East title?
Unbelievable. I have no words or anything. I can't describe it. Oh, I mean, this is unbelievable. We played our asses off. I have no words. This is amazing.
How do you, given the career path that you've had, how much do you soak this in right now and really appreciate the ride that this team has been on?
I mean, we're definitely riding high right now. We're excited. As you can see, you know, NL East champs, it's no better feeling. Each and everybody contributed. It's not about me, it's about the team. We won, you know, that's all I can say.
Get that thing open, you're having a little trouble. Get that thing open and get in there. Congrats, Tanner. Woo!
Well, that's a well-deserved drink for a guy like Tanner Roark. Just a few years ago, one of the losingest pitchers in minor league baseball, and look where he is right now.
Bryce Harper, firefighter. Check it out, Harper 34. That's awesome.
Well, and Bryce has come alive lately with the home runs, with the RBIs, hitting nearly 300 or so for the last month of the season. You know, Bryce got himself back healthy, got the hand healed. Wilson Ramos got his hand healed. And those two guys have shown us some serious pop lately.
I'll tell you what, though, I mean, give a lot of credit to the team in April and May, the bench guys that kept the team afloat around 500 with all the injuries and everybody in the world saying the Nats are underperforming. Why haven't they done better? Even when they were 10 games over in first place, people still saying, what's wrong with the Nationals? Well, take a look, folks. There's absolutely nothing wrong with your Washington Nationals. They're pouring champagne on each other.
And by the way, they do beat the Orioles to the punch a bit. Baltimore's in the 8th inning, leading 7-2 at home. Their magic number is 1, and there's a toast from the manager. We'll have a little ebb and flow to this celebration tonight. Now a little ebb. You know, they got the toast from the manager, and evidently Matt was quoted as saying it's going to be a while before we sleep, and that's okay. Let's check back in with Dan. He's got Jerry Blevins.
Thank you, Bob. Jerry, how did this team do it? You guys were tied in a virtual tie with the Braves at the All-Star break. What allowed this team to take a hold of this division and run away with the title?
I think just the experience that we have. We have a lot of veterans that know once we come into our own, we're a force to be reckoned with. And I think we did that. We hit our stride. Woo! We hit our stride, and, you know, guys stepped up, and we just played consistent baseball.
When you came over to this organization this offseason, think back to then. What do you know now about this team that you didn't know then?
That we have an identity, that we know how to win, that we're pushing for. We want to win. That's right. That's right. Woo! Yeah.
For this bullpen, you've seen a lot of guys step into different roles. How much do you guys appreciate the differing Drew coming in and taking a hold of the closer's role, and just the flexibility and versatility that everyone seems to have out there, and the ability to get big outs?
That's it right there. We know how to lean on each other when it counts.
Uh-oh.
We know how to lean on each other. We got each other's back no matter what happens when we go out there. We know somebody's going to get the job done, and if not, the next guy's got us.
Thank you, Jerry.
Thank you, Dan.
Thank you. Go have fun.
Dan Coco, veteran move with the towel in his rookie debut at a division-winning celebration. Well, that P, you were in there 2 years ago, and now from our perch up here just watching. I mean, you've been there as a player as well. Tell us about the release and maybe the relief the players feel now, along with the whole aspect of the celebration.
Well, you don't have too much relief because you still have an agenda to have the best record in the National League, get home field advantage throughout, and then hopefully the bottom line is a parade. So still lots of work to do, but enjoy the moment, enjoy the night, and then you got work to do.
Well, DENARD Span's been fantastic. Second half of the season, and he's Dan's latest get.
That is really cold. DENARD.
It is cold.
DENARD, what, that burns. What message did Matt Williams just have for the team when he raised his glass? Oh, Anthony Rendon is going nuts right now on DENARD Span with the beer. DENARD, what message did Matt Williams have for the club when he just raised a bottle in the middle of the clubhouse? What message did he have for this team? He can't see. He's fighting.
He said we're not done. He said we got promises to make. To keep. We got to keep it going, man. This is just the beginning right now, so we got to keep it going. This means a lot, but this isn't what we set out to accomplish for the season.
Matt said today that the one word that he thinks that defines this team is tenacity.
Yeah.
What's the one word that you would use?
Resilient. We kept fighting. A lot of people counted us out. A lot of people picked the Braves this year. But we just kept fighting. We kept fighting all year long. A lot of come from behind wins. A lot of resilient wins. I love this ball club, man. All these guys, man. We put forth the hard work. And this is a good feeling when you put forth the hard work and you get a chance to celebrate like this. No greater feeling.
You talked about how much more comfortable you now feel in this city with this team.
Yeah.
How do you think back on your personal journey from when you were acquired by this organization to where you are now?
I'm leaps and bounds ahead, man. This is unbelievable. I just saw Mike Rizzo. I thank them for bringing me here. They've changed my whole career, man. Just coming here. Ooh, that feels good.
That's Tanner Roark right there.
It just allowed me to come here and flourish as a ball player. And I just thank them for it, man. It means a lot to me, man, because I feel like I was held back in Minnesota, man. I'm just thankful to be here, having fun and doing what I've always wanted to do, which is play the game hard and just leave it all out on the field.
What have they done to allow you to flourish?
Just give me the confidence. Told me to go out there and play my game and believe in myself. Trust myself. If you make mistakes, just go out there. I gotta go.
Go have fun, DENARD. Thank you.
Wow, Tony Tarasco from the coaching staff taking
Bryce.
apart our interview. And here's Dan with Bryce. Go ahead, Dan.
Bryce, where did the firefighter's helmet come from? Tell me about that.
Oh man, DC Fire Department hooked me up. I just really wanted something special, so they hooked it up. I was happy.
Well, you fought through a lot this year in terms of injuries, and even last year. What does this mean to you? How do you appreciate this moment and just being in here with these guys?
It is unbelievable. It's a lot of fun to be around. This team has played great all year long, and be able to come in here and clinch is, something we've been wanting to do. So, all year long we've been fighting, we've been clawing. We've come through injuries, and we've done what we needed to do to get to this point.
How has this team been able to overcome the injuries? You talk about it. You had it. Zim. So many guys have gone down. What has allowed this club to fight through all?
Everybody's just stepping up. I think, Matt from day one told us, come in here every single day trying to win ball games, trying to get better every single day. And every guy that came in stepped up. we had a unbelievable group of guys this year, and hopefully we can do this more and more throughout October.
Last one for you. Matt came in his first year as a big league manager. How has he been able to so seamlessly step in and take control of this group and lead it to where it is now?
I mean, having a great team that we do, being able to have a great manager comes along with that. He's had our respect since day one, and Matt has been unbelievable all year long. Absolutely love the guy. We all love him as a manager, and hopefully we can get some more going.
Thanks, Bryce. Go have fun.
Thanks.
Well, Bryce Harper, as he said, hooked up with the helmet by the DC firefighters. Nice going, guys. So, again, that little lull, and then things will kind of liven up again for a while. It was interesting, the comments that DENARD Span had a few moments ago. Nothing against the Twins, a fine organization. But at this stage of his career, he finally got to a ball club that had a chance to get to the postseason and do special things. So I thought that was really cool, the things we heard from DENARD. Now, Drew Storen, and Dan, I don't know if you know this, 7 pitches, 7 strikes tonight. The guy has been nearly flawless as the closer now.
7 pitches, 7 strikes, 7 dumps of beer from Coach John Philbin on top of the head. Drew, what do you think was the defining moment for this team this year? You were kind of hanging around middle of the season, and then you really grabbed a hold of this division. Is there a defining moment for you?
There's a ton of them. I think that's been the fun. We stuck in our course all year. We battled. We've played some weird games, and we've had some awesome victories. And we've just built on that. And as you can tell, we like each other quite a bit. So we're having a good time.
Talk to me about the chemistry in this group. Some people talk about chemistry maybe being overrated. There seems to be very good chemistry here. How much is that a factor, do you think?
That is the factor. Everybody's good up here. But if you have guys in here playing for the right reasons and playing for each other and playing for that ring, you're going to have some success.
For you, a personal journey, all that you've been on these last couple years, you slide back into the 9th inning role. How much do you relish this and just kind of soak this in?
You have to. Baseball's a funny game. You're going to have your ups and your downs. But if you keep doing what you're doing, things are going to work out in the end. And, the last couple weeks have been a blast.
What's the confidence of this group right now as you grab a hold of this division and you look towards the postseason?
We're rolling and we're enjoying it. And I know it's cold. It's all right. Just enjoy it because that's what we're doing.
That's all.
Yeah,
there's a little more.
Yeah.
There's a little more.
Yeah.
It doesn't stop.
Yeah.
It doesn't stop.
Keep going. Keep going. Keep talking.
It burns a little bit, but it tastes good. It tastes good.
Go! Do not stop! Do not stop!
Take composure. That went down the wrong pipe.
There is no wrong pipe!
Kevin, come here. Kevin, let me get you real quick. Kevin Franson. Let me get you real quick. Kevin, talk to me about this team. You joined this club in spring training. What have you learned about this bunch since you came aboard?
There's been the one thing that we've done all year, and that's fight. 1 through 9, 1 through 25, the 36 guys we got here, all our coaching staff, everyone. We keep fighting. It doesn't matter if we're down. We keep going. We have a great team. We have a lot of things to accomplish still. This isn't it. We've got a lot of games to play. So this has been so much fun.
You talk about a lot to accomplish. Do you look at this as the first step of what could be a number of steps to come?
Well, obviously, it's the first step. You got to get to the playoffs somehow.
When you look towards he can't stop jumping up and down, guys. He has too much energy. Look back to when you got released by the Phillies to where you are now. How much of a ride has this been for you?
It's been a great ride. It's been a cool ride. It's been a very stressful ride at the beginning part of it, but the Nationals organization gave me a chance, gave me an opportunity. And the one thing that Riz promised when they offered me a job over here was, you're going to have a chance to win. And really, that's all I care about. I had an unbelievable time in Philly. I had one of the coolest experiences ever, but this one topped everything. And, I'm grateful for everything. I can't say anything else.
Last one for you. You mentioned Mike Rizzo. Tell me about the leadership that he and Matt Williams and those in the front office and coaching staff have provided to this ball club.
the whole fact of the matter is, from top to bottom, it doesn't matter the ownership, to Riz, to Matty, to the coaching staff, all the way down through the minor leagues. Everyone's won. That's number one key. Develop winning players, and everyone's doing their job. So that's what we're doing over here with the Nationals, and it's awesome.
Thank you, Kevin. Enjoy it.
Oh, yeah!
Guys, back to you for a second. Catch my breath.
All right, Dan. Chance to regroup for Mass and Dan. A great scene down there. Kevin Franzen. You know, he doesn't play every day. He's not one of the stars of this team, but in a way he is, because FP, he kind of epitomizes the fighting spirit of this ball club, and he kind of shows you how much a, quote, extra man can add to a ball club.
Yeah, you know, I knew what he went through in Philadelphia. Yeah, he did have a great time there, but to see him go back to the minor leagues, he was a young player with the Giants, blow his Achilles out, go back to the minor leagues, battle back to Philadelphia, get released by the Phillies in spring training, come over to D.C. and help them so much. It's the first time for him. This is his first experience in the postseason, his first time as a major leaguer pouring champagne on his teammates' heads. So it's a great experience for him. I'm happy for him.
All right, Dan, that looks like Mr. Lerner. So you two take it away.
This is him, Bob. Mark, you've seen how far this organization has come. 2 division titles in 3 years. What does this mean to you? What does this represent to you?
Well, I tell you, I can't express it in words. You know, it all starts with my dad. He had the vision of how to build this organization, hiring Mike, hiring Matt. Baseball ops and Matt done a magnificent job. This is just the first step. We have bigger and higher goals here, but I can't be proud of this bunch. They came to work the first day of spring training, and they haven't stopped. And despite adversity with injuries and everything else that's going on, they've hung in there, and they're magnificent.
The fans have loved watching this ball club at home in D.C. What's it been like for you to watch this club develop over the course of this season?
Well, that's what it's like. That's what it's like. I tell you, I live and die with every pitch, and I'm glad this part's over. Now I can start worrying about the next part, but I loved every minute of it. They're a joy to be around. Great bunch.
Congratulations, Mark.
Thank you, Dan. Appreciate it.
Well, Mark Lerner, Father Ted, I'm sure Annette back home watching tonight. Our congratulations to you, Ted and Annette, and your entire wonderful family that's at the helm of this Nationals organization. And when I think of the quest of this ball club to win that ultimate goal, the first gentleman I think about is Ted Lerner and his wonderful wife Annette, and hope this can happen for them as well. You know, Mark and the sisters and the brothers-in-law, they might get another chance somewhere down the road, but this would be a wonderful thing, and it's not often that anybody gets the opportunity to take over a baseball team and a sport that you've loved your whole life and be at the helm of that like the Lerners are. So, you know, we got to think about them tonight because this is so special for that family.
Absolutely. And they did it the right way. They were patient. They decided to build from within. Strong minor league system like Kevin Franzen was talking about. I just hope that everybody at home realizes how special this is. That this doesn't come around every single year. I know they've won it the last 2 out of 3 years. They're built to be successful for a while. But this is a special time for baseball in a nation's capital. It's a special time for the region. When you talk about the Orioles clinching tonight, I mean, this is just wonderful. Soak it in, enjoy every second of it.
One of the enduring images from 2012, Dan, is Gio going out on the field to celebrate with our fans. He's a little confined tonight in the other team's ballpark, and I guess, first of all, is he still pitching tomorrow night?
We'll have to check and see, Bob. There's bigger things to deal with right now. Gio, FP was just talking about how special this is for the region. How special is this for this ball club? You were here in 2012 and got to enjoy that ride. How special is this ride in and of itself?
Dan, you're a part of this too, baby. You've been around this. And you know what, FB, I'm mad at you. And Bobby, you got to get down here, man. It can't just be, there's no shower without you. So let's go, baby. Get down here. But this has been incredible. I know, but we need these guys here. You know, but it's been exciting, you know, especially with this group of guys. There's the man. Yeah!
Oh, that's in the face, in the face!
I mean, it's just been incredible. I mean, like I said, this is the best group of guys I've been a part of. I'm just truly happy to be here. And, you know, Riz took a chance for me and giving me an opportunity to be around this. And, you know, again, Matt Williams, everyone's done something big for this team. And, you know, it's just getting better and better. This roller coaster is just, you know, our hands up right now, enjoying it.
What stands out to you, Gio, about the way this team has gone about it this season that has led it to this point?
Bunch of professionals, hungry professionals, guys that have been, you know, working their tails off, just staying in that lineup, wanting to go out there and play. You know, guys that have been grinding all through the year, and you know, I couldn't be more proud of each one of them. And you know, you got a young guy like Tanner Roark who's been phenomenal. Doug Fister, another key guy to this rotation. You know, Jordan Zimmer, incredible. Steven Strasburg. I mean, the list goes on. These guys are incredible. Our bullpen's been fantastic. Our offense is on fire. You know, all in all, this is why we're celebrating, because we've done something right. And Matt Williams knows that he's taking this team, he's putting us in the right spot.
What has Matt done that has allowed this team to have the success that he has? That it's done on the lines, it's done by the players. How has he steered the ship?
One word, he wins. You know, winner. Guy wins. You know, he just knows what he's doing. He just he puts the pieces where it needs to be. He knows how to play this game. And to him, I think this is almost routine for him. He's been a part of this, and you know, I'm just excited to just be a part of it. You know, the Nationals have been incredible, great organization, great ownership, great everyone. I mean, this is awesome. I'm not gonna end this night like this. I'm gonna keep partying. Dan, you enjoy the night.
I will, Gio.
Baby, it's not over.
Oh, there's some more. Selfie time between Gio and Aaron Barrett. Let's get Aaron in here too. Aaron,
how's it going, Dan?
Hey, Aaron, how are you?
Fantastic.
You do it.
Obviously.
What's going on? Anything big?
No.
Just hanging
having
out.
The time of my life. Time of my life.
You're a rookie. You come up here. You make your first big league appearance this year, and then you get to enjoy this ride. Tell me about what that's like over the last few months to be a part of this.
Unbelievable ride. I mean, I couldn't picture anything other than this. I mean, just these guys are so incredible. I mean, one of the best teams I've ever played for, top to bottom. These guys, I mean, just look around. I'm taking it all in. Unbelievable experience. I've never felt anything like this.
What have you learned this season, Aaron?
Just go out there and have fun. I mean, the group of guys that we've had it's been real easy for me to just come out and be myself, and just being able to come out here and enjoy it, and I mean, just look around. It's just an unbelievable time.
Congratulations,
Thanks,
Aaron.
Dan.
Go enjoy it. The Bearcat, boys.
All right, thanks, Dan. Aaron Beard. Yeah, you know, it's so interesting, FP, how it happens differently for other major leaguers. Kevin Franzen waiting for this for years, and then Aaron Barrett and some of these rookie guys who come up, you know, Souza and Taylor and Sandy Leon and some of the other guys who get called up from Syracuse, and then they get to experience their very first time around. So Tyler Clippard now with Dan, so it's our post-game guy with the eighth inning guy.
Post-game guy, eighth inning guy, and he's commenting on the technology holding in there tough, the mic, the camera. You're concerned right now about us. Enjoy this, Tyler.
Oh, trust me, I am. There's no doubt about it. It's unbelievable. We did it a few years ago, and to be back here and doing it again, you don't realize how special it is until you get back here, and man, this is awesome.
What do you think? You mentioned 2012. What do you think is the difference between that team and this team, if there is one?
Well, we're better. We're more experienced. We've been through it. You know, we know what to expect from everybody out on the field. You know, these guys in the infield can close their eyes. Everybody's going to know where they're going to be. We just, you know, we're rolling right now. We got a good club, a good team.
2013, you guys had high expectations, and it didn't work out for you. When you look back on that and how far this team has come in a year, what strikes out to you? What jumps out?
Well, our desire to take it one day at a time, to know how difficult it is to get to this point right here, and to know we still got a long way to go. Everyone's just on the same page, and it's been a lot of fun.
This bullpen overall, you, Drew, Sorry, there's so many guys out there that have contributed and stepped in and gotten big outs. What's the pride overall in that bullpen that you take with getting those big outs and helping get this team to this point?
Well, we know we're gonna be an important piece of getting to where we want to go. We take a lot of pride in getting those big outs late in games. I mean, from top to bottom, everybody's done a great job this year. And we're such a tight unit down there, and we root for each other more than I've ever seen a group root for each other. And I'm just blessed to be a part of that group. And man, it's been fun.
Thank you, Tyra. Yeah. Congratulations.
Thanks.
Well, we were talking earlier. Some guys have to wait for such a long time. Then you have rookies who experience the first time around. And I guess it's important for them to know, hey, this isn't going to happen every year.
No, it's a good experience for those guys to see what it's like to win and win big at the highest level. I'm listening to the concert behind us right now, and it's not the most enthusiastic crowd you've ever heard in your whole life.
Well, we had to close the windows so we could hear what's going on downstairs. So as we said, you know, the Braves fans, they can have their concert, but the Nationals right now are having the party that everybody in baseball wants to have. And if there's not one already in Baltimore, it's probably about to happen up there. And, you know, everybody's just going to start talking about the possibilities for the playoffs and all that. You still have things that you have to take care of. And first and foremost now, and maybe after a bit of a respite tomorrow for some of the guys, FP, it's chasing that best record in the league so you can play as many home games as possible.
Yeah. Got to get the home field advantage. Hey, Dan, get Riz on there. Let's go. Get Rizzo, get some coaches.
He's here, boys. He's ready to go. Shake that off, Mike. How much pride do you take? You've assembled this bunch. You've seen it rise over the last few years. How much pride do you take in where this team has gotten?
It's a great organizational night tonight. We've got some unfinished business to do. We know that. We hope this is a first step of many, but I'm proud of the guys. It's a great organization. And, you know, as we speak and as we're drinking champagne, we've got our scouts out scouting the other teams. We got our player development guys in the instructional league who can't enjoy this, but they're as big a part of this as anybody in this room. We're proud of the depth that the scouts allow us to have, and we're, you know, it's a good feeling right now. It's really a franchise success story, and I'm glad to be the spokesman for it, but a small part of it.
What was the key with this club this year, do you think?
Well, I think that they're an ornery bunch. They're a stubborn bunch. They're a bunch that rises to the occasion and fought through a lot of adversity. You know, we can't gloss over or forget the fact that, you know, we were without a lot of our middle lineup guys for a long period of time. We were out two of our starting rotation for an extended periods, and guys stepped up. Guys from the minor leagues, guys on the bench. You know, you throw Kevin Franzen out in left field for the first time in probably 10 years. He played left field, and he played it like a champ. And you know, guys just kept giving us good at bats and good at bats. The coaching staff can't be beat. They're the best I've ever been around, and they really made it possible for us to get through that period of time when we really needed to have some fortitude and stick-to-itiveness, and they play great. Matt Williams he was awesome through the whole process. I can't say enough good things about him. The more complex and crazy that this stuff became, the calmer he was. So he handled the ship when things were really rocky, and when things smoothed out, the team just took off. So it's a great franchise night tonight.
An emotional day for the organization. Mike,
Definitely
thanks so much for the time.
Thanks a lot.
Hey, if this is a request line, I want Jason Worth. Dan, you got to get Jason Worth. Let's go.
Well, I'm sure that's an appearance that'll be made shortly. You know, and Jason Worth, as much as anybody, helped to change the feeling around this ball club when he came aboard 4 years ago. There were some things, quite honestly, needed to be tightened up here and there. So Dan's with the guy who I think helped as much as anybody to sort of change things around here. Dan?
He certainly has, Bob. There's no doubt about it. Jason, as you look back over the course of this season, this team has fought through adversity, as all clubs do when they get to the playoffs. What is the defining quality in this ball club that has allowed it to get to this point and be NL East champions?
I don't know, man. That was a long question right there.
Defining quality. 2 words, boom.
I would say it's our depth. We've got a lot of depth. You know, we've had some bad injuries this year, and we've overcome a lot. And get to this point, it's quite an accomplishment for the organization, for the fans, for the city, and you know, it's just the first step. We got a long way to go. We still got a lot to play for in the regular season here, and you know, home field advantage throughout is important. So we'll take a day off. We can set up our pitching. We can give some guys some rest, but we still got games to play, and meaningful games with that, and then then once postseason gets here, all bets are off. That's when it's fun. That's when it's easy, and it's a good time. I'm happy.
You've popped bottles a couple times in your career now. Does this ever get old?
No, not really. I mean, this is good. You play the whole regular season for this, so this is exciting. But they just keep getting better each one. So hopefully this is first of many this year, and the first of many for the next few years. So we got a good team. I like where we're at, and it's good.
What is it about Matt Williams as a manager that has allowed him to kind of steer the ship and get you guys to this point?
Well, he's got a good team. He's given a good team. But I think the biggest thing about Matt is he stays out of our way. He puts the lineup up and he lets us play. And there's a lot to be said about that. It's refreshing, to come in every day and not have to worry about anything other than just playing baseball. So in that regard, he's been great.
Thank you, Jason. Congratulations.
You go, Dan Coco.
Knew that was coming.
Well, we always know something's going to happen when we visit live with Jason Worth.
Yeah, I was thinking, how many regional sport networks in the history of Major League Baseball have had two teams clinch on the same day? Can we call Elias and see if that's a record? Because this is...
I'm pretty sure the number's 0.
And this early, too, with so much time left in the season, you got both teams, right down the street from each other, the two best teams in baseball clinching on the same night, on the same network. I'm glad we haven't exploded yet, but this is unbelievable and unprecedented, and I'm proud to be a part of it.
Pretty amazing. By the way, a personal thought to a gentleman, and we don't know if he's watching in Florida tonight, but Ryan Zimmerman, if you're tuned in, we just want you to know that you're never out of our minds very long. Whether this ball club's struggling or doing well, when you're not here, it's almost like we're missing a brother of ours, because those of us like Charlie and Dave, myself, others in the organization that have been fortunate enough to watch almost every play of your career, we miss Ryan Zimmerman. And I just want Ryan to know at this moment, even though he's not part of it, at least for now, that the admiration and the love for this guy never, ever wavers with everybody in this organization.
Well, you're just missing the tailgate party. This is the pre-party to the big party. And they got a couple more of these coming. I'll tell you that. So he's not here right now, but he's definitely a part of this franchise. He is this franchise. And when he comes back, he will get to do this a few more times.
Well, it looks like Dan's got his equipment in order, and that's a big right-hander who had a wonderful game here last night.
He sure did, Bob. Steven, talk to me about this rotation overall. You guys have been pitching on another level these last 6-8 weeks or so. What pride do you guys take in kind of the way you've been able to take a hold of things and really lead this club with the innings that you've given?
We just want to go out there and get the job done every single day and keep it rolling. So just try not to do too much, but just go out there and keep it close.
How is this team, do you think, different than it was a couple years ago?
I'm sorry, I got to cut this out right now.
They're taking a pitchers and catchers picture, guys. Steven needed to run.
Well, isn't that what we talk about in January and February? How many days till pitchers and catchers?
Well, he's paid a lot of attention to the running game this year, so that makes sense.
Well, and Wilson Ramos and Jose Lobaton, you cannot just talk too much about what these guys have meant to the pitching staff, how they've guided them through some of the tough times. Wilson hurt. Sandy Leon came up for a while. Jonathan Solano came up for a while. Now Dan's back with Steven.
Steven, how... Oh, they need him again. No. They're going to keep coming up with pictures to grab him away. No, we'll let him get in there.
Live television, Dan, not a big deal. We're doing okay here. It's quite a rotation. A lot of managers would love to line up those guys in their clubhouse.
Yeah, you talk about a 5-game series. I mean, pick one out of a hat. It doesn't matter. A lot of ball clubs in a 5-game series, they get to that 4th or 5th game, and do you use your number 1 again? Do you use them on short days rest? The Nats don't have to worry about that. They're stacked.
All right, Dan, how about try number 3 with Strasburg?
3rd time's the charm. Steven, how is this club, do you think, different than it was in 2012? You guys had a nice run that season. How is this club different now?
In 2012, we didn't really have much experience, so it's a little different playing with everybody trying to go out there and beat you every time. We couldn't sneak up on anybody, and I think we learned a lot from that experience, and I think it's going to make us better in the long run.
How does it make you better? How can you kind of value that experience and put into words what it means and how it can impact games?
It's just sticking to the basics, just doing what we're supposed to do, making the right plays, and just going out there and letting our talent, take over the game.
It's been asked before, I'll ask it again, for you personally to be able to pitch deep into September and now pitch in the postseason. What does that mean?
Oh, I'm excited, and it's all into the water now, so it's go time.
Thank you, Steven. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's a good call by Steven. Not looking back, that whole thing was so controversial a couple of years ago, but Mike Rizzo was very adamant that he was doing it for the good of the organization, for the good of the player. And I'll never forget something Mike said to us. He said, I don't want to have to look in his eye and tell him now he needs a shoulder procedure because we brought him back too early from the elbow. Strasburg's healthy, and boy is he. He's a horse now.
And he's their number one, and he's going to be their number one in the playoffs. And I know there was some doubt about that maybe a month or so ago. A lot of people talking about it should be Doug Fister, it should be Jordan Zimmerman. It's Steven Strasburg. There's no doubt about it. Home, road, I don't care. Parking lot, playground, park, it doesn't matter. He's your number one, and he's proven that his last 4 starts. The fastball velocity's up, the command's there, the stuff is there. More important than that, the presence is there. He has a mound presence. His last, 4 starts that I've never seen him have before, and he's just kind of got that John Wayne look when he's out there, and it's, you're not hitting me, and he just has total confidence in the fastball. And there was times in his career where he would get away from that heater. It's like, you throw 97, 98, keep throwing it. Well, right now he's challenging guys with that. Here it is, hit it. And that's a whole different mindset, and it's nice to see. He's their number one, there's no doubt.
By the way, Matt Williams is now ready, so let's get down to the clubhouse and hear from the skipper.
Here he is. He's thinking TV as always. Matt, how did you manage to stay dry? That's question number 1.
Oh, I'm not. I'm soaking wet. My pants are wet all the way to the bottom. My shirt's wet. It just doesn't look like I'm, I don't have any hair, so you can't tell whether it's dry or not.
Yeah, we'll get a close-up of that. For you, you came in, this is your first year as a big league manager. Could you have imagined that it would result in this?
Well, yeah, with this team I could imagine, yeah. I know that there was a lot of hard work along the way, and there was some trials and tribulations too, but I'm very proud of them. They've taken ownership of the way they want to play this game and how they go about it, and that's every day. So the fruits of that labor are we get to stand where we're at. There's a lot of work to do, though, and if we want to get to where we want to get to, then we got to buckle down again. So tonight's a very gratifying night for all of us, but we realize that there's a lot of work to be done yet.
There are a lot of things that you're proud of. You said that word. What ranks atop that list?
I think it's just the way they've gone about it. They've tasted it before. Didn't get to where they wanted to get to last year. There's expectation that goes along with it. Wonderful players and wonderful people, and a staff that works their fanny off every single day. So I'm proud of that. I'm proud of the way that we've tried to accomplish our goal, our first goal. And now we have to look at, from here on, we have to look at doing even more. The guys in that coach's room are ready for that. The guys in this locker room are ready for that. I'm certainly ready for that. And so we'll see where we can go.
In late July, you guys were neck and neck with the Braves, a virtual tie. Over the last couple months, what stands out in your mind as the turning point, or what really allowed you to end up division champions?
Well, I think it's probably the 10-game winning streak, the walk-offs and the never give up, and having the lead and not having the lead and then coming back. Those types of games you certainly don't expect to win, but we did, and that's just perseverance. That's just staying with the plan, understanding the process of how we're going to go about doing it, and persevering.
How does this club now, with a couple weeks left in the season, what's left to do? What's left to accomplish before you hit postseason baseball?
Well, it's with regard to the playoffs, it's really important for us to try to have home field advantage, and that's important, especially the way we play at home. So we'll look to try to accomplish that. It's not easy, and at this point, we know that we're going to be in the playoffs. Some would say, well, what does it matter? But it matters to us, and it matters that we continue to play at a level that's conducive to the way we want to go about doing it. So that's a challenge. So for the next couple of weeks, we'll try to accomplish that. And then when it comes time to play whoever we're going to play, we'll strap it on and see what we can do.
How do you celebrate tonight?
Well, I'm going to probably get some sleep for the first time in about 2 weeks. So that would be good. And, you know, I'm going to go back in the coach's room, sit with the guys that really make this happen, and let them know I appreciate them.
Congratulations, Matt.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Well, what a thoughtful man, what an insightful man, and what a good interview Matt Williams is. Of course, as you know, he had some TV experience with Arizona. NFP, the other thing, and we're about to wrap this up from Atlanta, I just can't get us signed off without thinking about our fans. I mean, we have a lot of fans in D.C. and Virginia and Maryland and Delaware, you know, southern Pennsylvania, West Virginia, in our large geographic area. I mean, we got fans down to North Carolina now with the mass and footprint. And these are fans that waited a long, long time for baseball to come back after 30-some years being gone. The disappointment of losing 2 different teams to Minnesota and to Texas. And then the Nationals are born, a National League team. It was All-American League before that. And so to you folks at home, I mean, your wait, we hope it's been worth your while, and we hope there's a few more gifts that we can give to them.
Yeah, enjoy yourselves tonight. Be safe. There's going to be a few more parties, but it's been great for me being here 4 years, watch Nats fans develop into great baseball fans, and watch Washington, D.C. develop into a baseball town. It really is. Everywhere you go now, everybody talking about the baseball team, and it's been a great evolution. And for you, partner, you've been here through the bad times and the good times, and the last 4 years we've had a pretty good ride. We're 2 for 4. And
yeah, and didn't you figure out we're like 63 games over 500?
We're 67 games over 500 as a broadcast crew, and this is our second championship.
Well,
so
no, you are. I'm not, because of 06 through 2010, but nice job, man, as always.
No, you and I are 67 games over, and it's been fun. We're 2 for 4, and we're waiting to see more, and Nats fans have a great time tonight. And I'm going to go down and see Gio and probably get to bed about 4 in the morning.
Yeah, well, what else is new?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to go have fun and celebrate this thing. Game on. It happened, folks, but it's really only beginning.
Yeah, there's another ride to enjoy. By the way, you have to have a really, really good team to clinch with a week and a half left in the regular season. So we'll leave you with some of the images of these Nats. How does this sound? 2014 National League East Division champions. Good night from Atlanta. And a ground ball to Cabrera. That's a National League East clincher for the Nationals.